Welcome to Modern Day Debate. Tonight we're going to be debating Flat Earth versus Globe Earth. And to get us started out, we have PhD Tony. So, PhD Tony, thank you so much for coming back to Modern Day Debate. The floor is all yours.
Just give me a moment to share.
No worries. This is a good time for everybody to hit the like button and share this out in the lovely contentious spaces you like having these debates. We appreciate everybody at Modern Day Debate and everybody in the live chat. Sorry if we're a little bit late here starting up, but Tony, I'm going to start your timer right now.
Okay. All right, so flat earthers often say that they can't see curvature. They tend not to know what curvature is. In a mathematical sense, curvature refers to the change in angle of the tangent vector or the normal vector per unit of distance moved. We see this across Earth. For instance, if we have observers that are equally spaced, the angle to distant objects changes at a uniform rate of 0.00157 radians per kilometer. This is 1 over radius, which is exactly what should be observed on us if the Earth were a spheroid of radius 6,371.2 kilometers. This is not what should occur on a flat Earth. On a flat Earth, uniform changes in distance from the ground point of a celestial object would not result in uniform angular changes because the tangent is not a linear function. We also observed the effects of curvature in the first part of an object that comes into view is the top. The last part of an object that comes into view is the base. The base is the first to obscured. This again is exactly what we see. This feeds into the flat Earth claim that we see too far. Normally, this requires anomalous viewing conditions. If how far you see depends on viewing conditions, then it does not reflect geometry, it reflects viewing conditions. Flat Earthers often claim that the appeal to refraction is some sort of get-out-of-jail-free card that globers invoke. Nonetheless, they themselves invoke refraction to explain phenomena like sunlight on the underside of clouds, which requires that light refract in exactly the opposite sense than is physically plausible, which is to say towards the less dense medium. The other observational evidence that flat earthers like to rely on is laser reflections. They argue that because a laser is received at a mirror at some distance away, therefore the Earth can't be flat because otherwise it would have missed. What they're leaving out of this analysis is dispersion of the laser beam. The beam spreads out over distance, and so this experiment cannot distinguish between the Earth being flat and the Earth being curved. So let's move on to a data set where you can distinguish between the Earth being flat and the Earth being curved. So if we have 2 points on Earth's surface, we know their latitudes, therefore we know their distance from the North Pole. We know their longitude, so we know the angle they subtend at the North Pole. From this data, we can construct the triangle that they would form from these parameters if the Earth was flat, and we can calculate the distance between the 2 points and their heading. Similarly, we can do the same on a spheroidal Earth. We construct a spherical triangle and we solve for the distance. And the distance we get using this is the angular separation in degrees times 111 meters or 69 miles. And this is exactly what is observed on Earth. The accuracy of the spheroidal distance formula is a death knell for flat Earth. It tells us that the distance from Mawson Base in Antarctica to McMurdo Base in Antarctica is about 3,000 kilometers. We can confirm this by looking at earthquake data. Here we're looking at arrival times for the Macquarie Rise earthquake from 2004. We see that at 6 minutes after the earthquake, it hits Antarctica. And then 5 minutes later, it will hit the other side of Antarctica. On the right-hand side, you can see what this would look like on a flat Earth, and you can see that blue signal on the opposite side of the disk from where the earthquake occurred within 11 minutes. This is physically implausible. Another prediction that flat Earth makes is that the distance subtended by a fixed longitude distance must increase as you move southwards. The globe Earth predicts that this distance will decrease as you move away from the equator. We can test this. We can look at east-west railway lines. These are physical objects that are whose length is measurable. We can look at Kalgoorlie-Takula, part of the Trans-Australian Railway network, and we can see that the track separation of 1,280 kilometres is very close to the spherical distance, but that its longitude separation is 13 degrees. We can work out, therefore, that a degree of longitude along this track is 98.5 kilometres, which is less than the length length per unit of longitude between Jacksonville and Pensacola. So why is the southern hemisphere distance per unit longitude shorter in the southern hemisphere than it is in the northern hemisphere? This directly contradicts a flat Earth. Our distance measurements are confirmed by every flight path, by every intercontinental ship navigation. We have been using spherical formulations for intercontinental ship travel for over 300 years. Here we have a ship manual from the 17th century. We can also confirm our distance measurements by looking at submarine cables. Here, for instance, we've got the submarine cable from Sydney to Seattle, and we see that the cable length is a little bit longer, as would be expected, than the shortest great circle distance. We can look at the propagation. We can look at the propagation of earthquakes. They propagate out in circles. They and converge on the antipodal point in a circle. We can look at Rayleigh waves. They spread out from the epicenter. They get received, then they go all the way around the Earth. They get received from the other direction. Then they cross over again. They get received a third time. And for large earthquakes, this can happen multiple times. I'm just going to eat into Peter's presentation time just to show this this presentation. Here we have earthquake data from Western US earthquakes, and we can see for the Sumatra earthquake, we can see that the waves initially come in from the northwest and they move towards the southeast. Over time, the pattern becomes less coherent, and you'll start seeing it becomes a bit muddled. You'll start seeing them all go all over the place. And then eventually, at about the 6,000 second mark, so coming up to 10 minutes after the earthquake, you'll start seeing the waves go from the southeast to the northwest. So exactly as predicted by the globe Earth model. Here you go. You can see the waves propagating from the southeast to the northwest, and then they go back. Okay.
All right.
That's the end of mine.
I think that's fair. You got an extra minute there. I will still give you 6 minutes on the floor, but we're going to have to tag that to the other side if they would also like an extra minute. So thank you so much, PhD Tony, for your introductory statement. We do appreciate everybody here at Modern Day Debate. If you're hanging out in the live chat, like I said earlier, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody there. And also, we do Q&A at the end, and that is via the Super Chats. So if you have a question for any of our speakers that you're seeing here, get that into a Super Chat, and we will get that read out. So we're going to head over to you, Peter. You got up to 6 minutes to make your opening case.
Okay, can you guys see this?
We sure can.
Shoot. I'm trying to full screen this. Why is it not? Shoot. Well, I guess I'll just present this way. So, if any of you have seen me argue this before, you know my name for modern flat earthers is robothamists. They pull the broken ideas, or they peddle the same broken ideas they inherited from Samuel Burley Robotham, the first modern flat earther 150 years ago. Robothamism is not like the views of any ancient people. In fact, it's different in almost every conceivable way. Ancient flat earth was an honest ignorance, whereas modern flat earth is denial. And the biggest, most obvious thing they deny is sunset, the moment when daytime ends because the sun becomes occluded behind the horizon. Whether they admit it or not, both my opponents today are sunset deniers, and ancient people would have laughed at them. Why do they deny sunset? Because nowadays we know about time zones. If the sun is always up somewhere and the earth is flat, then at night the sun cannot be underneath us. So instead, modern flat earthers say it goes too far away to see. They try to mix up this occlusion phenomenon with a bastardized and broken version of perspective that some call flurfspective. Meanwhile, any child knows that a level floor under your feet cannot block your line of sight to something that's above you. Even so, let's put some numbers on this. According to actual geometry, an object that recedes horizontally should descend in our vision according to an exact arctangent function. I demonstrated this visually with by holding a flashlight at my waist and walking straight away from my camera until it was gone. And if we overlay frames, you can see the distance between images shrinks dramatically as it recedes. That's how perspective actually works, and it's a consequence of math. Is this what the sun does? No, not even close. I took a 3-hour time lapse of sunset using 2 identical cameras, one with welding glass and one without, while I tracked the sun's position using a compass and sextant. The numbers are powerful, but the footage, but so is the footage. I try to play it here, but it works better when it's in full screen mode. Anyway, if you overlay frames like we did before, the distance between images stays the same the whole time. Case closed. The sun goes below us at night. Pair this with time zones, and you have irrefutable proof of the globe. Now, before the debate, Nathan wanted to exchange a list of arguments with Tony and me. The fact that his and Angel's arguments are going to be off topic today created a bit of discussion. While that was going on, they didn't receive our list of arguments at first, which they apparently started saying was a purposeful tactic, which is hilarious to me because the argument I just presented has literally been my flagship argument since my debut video on this topic over 5 years ago. For months now, it's been pinned at the top of my profile on TikTok, which is Nathan and Angel's Playground. I've had interactions with them there, with both of them there, and I know they've seen me present this. It's essentially unchanged because no flat earther has ever meaningfully addressed it. When I hear or see an argument for flat earth that I haven't addressed, my reaction is to study and research and then address it. Why would Nathan and Angel wait for months only to complain about my argument not being spoon-fed to them? Could it be that they have no intention to address it at all and actually just want an excuse? No way. They're far too honest and rational for shenanigans like that, right? Right? Oh, and just a quick PS. You're probably going to say the lights in the sky don't determine the shape of the floor. That flat Earth tagline initially worked as a response to the globe argument, all the planets are spheres, why would Earth be different? Notice how the tagline breaks when applied to my sunset argument. Simultaneous observations of one object, like the sun, from different locations, like here in China, absolutely do let you make deductions about the spatial relationships involved using basic geometry. Nobody would look at these 2 photos of the Statue of Liberty and say they were both taken from the same side of the harbor. You can't just block deductive reasoning by saying a statue far away doesn't determine where your feet are standing. So here's hoping, perhaps vainly, that we get an ounce of better substance today. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Peter, for your introductory statement. We appreciate that. Let's get back to our main screen, though. I think we'll be going back into screen shares shortly. So yeah, we are going to hit it over to the other side, and I'll remind our audience with our quick housekeeping that if you are listening on podcast form, which all of our debates are uploaded to podcast within 24 hours, and you're wondering where you can hear these live and in the moment so that you can ask questions via the super chat to your favorite speakers, you got to subscribe to the YouTube channel Modern Day Debate. And with that, thank you, Nathan, for coming back to Modern Day Debate. You're on mute right now. And we're going to hand you the floor for your up to 6-minute introduction. So thank you again.
No problem. If you guys aren't familiar, my name is Nathan Thompson. Used to run the official Flat Earth and Globe discussion before it was censored and deleted. We had 155,000 members in the group. That's if you believe the numbers social media is telling us. I appreciate James for hosting the debate. Appreciate the interlocutors for being here. Angel for being my partner. He's great on TikTok. Give Angel a follow. He makes great TikTok videos, one of the best content creators out there. Also, the censorship is unreal. So you're not going to just be able to Google flat Earth and find out information about this. You need to find quality sources. I would download the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Clock app. We've got over 200,000 subscribers on the app. You'll find people in your area, no matter where you're at. There's flat earthers everywhere. I've done over 300 flat Earth meetups. I've met over 5,000 flat earthers in person. They're some of the most humble, generous, kind people, meek people you can meet. The media is not giving us a fair shot. I've been on LA Times, Chicago Tribune, New York Post, Daily Mail Australia, Netflix, National Geographic. They are all lying to you guys. I was there at the Salton Sea, 17-mile lake. When we looked across it with telescopes in the morning, you could see clear across it. And then when they did the observation at high noon, they claimed to see curvature of the Earth when the horizon was above and behind the boat. The boat didn't even go over the horizon, and they claimed curvature. So I've done different tests. Like I said, I use telescopes, infrared, high-power zoom cameras. I've had 3 different Nikons. We've used lasers. We've rented helicopters. We've used land surveying equipment. There is no curvature or convexity to the surface of this globe. Now, I find my opponent's arguments ridiculous. They are looking at the sun. They're looking at computer models that they can't verify. They're putting red dots on maps and saying, look at all these red dots. The Earth must be a globe. Absolutely blows my mind. I don't know if these people are taking this topic seriously enough, but we are being lied to about the shape of our world and the nature of our reality. And these people are over here like, I'm not going to prove a globe. I'm going to look at the sun. I'm not going to prove a globe. I'm going to look at computer models with red dots on them. They have lost the plot, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not talking to my interlocutors on the other side. I'm talking to the audience for almost the entire debate. You are the ones that need to hear from me. Please do the research. Also tests I've done on top of long distance observations, the moonlight is measured cold. Star trails don't intersect the marine horizon. I've debated NASA employees. Of course, it was in the airport. They won't agree to a public debate, but land surveyors, PhD astrophysicists, pilots, none of them can prove the globe. A lot of them are actually more unfamiliar with the arguments than these anti-flat earthers on YouTube. These anti-flat earthers know more about their globe than the experts, just so you guys know. But 1 second, I want to show screen if I could. I can't hear you, sir.
Oh, no worries. I just said, yeah, that's no problem.
How do I do that?
If you're on the phone, it should just be, you should be able to just click on the bottom and go into the options. I don't think it's as easy on the phone as it is on the computer.
No, yeah, I switched to the computer.
Oh, if you're on the computer, then yeah, just go to our Zoom chat, hover over our window, and go to the bottom and hit share. I'll just pause your timer for a second while we get this sorted.
Yeah, I'm in the Zoom chat, and I don't see share on the bottom, bro. I see chat, participants. Oh, the green button. Yep. There we go. Entire
Sunny
screen.
Chat. There we go. Oh, we lost PhD Tony's video. He might come back, though. I think that'll be all right.
Are you kidding me? It's asking me. All right, let's pass it over to Angel, and then if I can get a couple minutes at the end, I got to change configurations on my computer.
Okay, no worries. It happens to the best of us, and we're doing what we can. So, yeah, we'll halt your 3 minutes odd on the floor there. We're going to hand it over to Angel. Actually, Angel was supposed to go first anyways. This is what we decided this, and my brain just, yeah, it just happens sometimes, I swear. Honestly. So, yeah, thank you, Angel. You could have called me out at any time, been like, whoa.
That's
hold
fine.
on now. I think, honestly, I've hosted Nathan quite a few times. I think I'm used to him going first in general. Maybe you can correct me on that. But, all right, I'm going to share your screen. You're up and running. 6 minutes on the floor. Thanks for being here, Angel.
Hang on. I had it myself.
To say I am screen sharing. Am I the one screen sharing right now?
Oh, you are screen sharing. I thought that was.
Oh, no worries. I'll continue with it, Angel.
Yeah, finish.
So here's
now we're really getting the rodeo here. No, I'm just joking. All right, go ahead there, Nathan.
It's funny to be gaslighted by our opponents and say we don't understand curvature of the Earth when I'm on TikTok and 99% of the globers on TikTok don't know how much the Earth should curve. Then we tell them how much the Earth should curve, and they say, no, Earth is too big. You wouldn't see that amount of curvature. Then we ask them how big Earth is, and they don't know that either. So I'm talking 99% of Globers, and we get gaslighted by our opponents saying we don't understand curvature. Trust me, I've looked into the curvature, Pythagorean theorem, AutoCAD, Sagitta, Earth curvature calculator formulas. They're all going to tell you the same thing. This is how much curvature you would see on your globe religion. Here's the Chicago skyline. I've made this observation as well from the other side of Lake Michigan. Then we took the helicopter from Kenosha on the other side of the skyline and measured it flat from the other side too with infrared. 57 miles should be obstructing the entire skyline. And you can see all those buildings here. 6 lighthouses should be obstructed by the curvature of the Earth, ending with Lady Liberty, which should be obstructed by over 2,000 feet of curvature. Now, something we do have that can obstruct things in the distance is atmospheric perspective. Light attenuates as it moves towards you. So this is a 123-mile San Jacinto observation. You turn on the infrared and the entire mountains there, voila. This is the Canigou Mountains. Twice a year, the sun will set behind these mountains. They are 9,000 feet tall. From 163 miles away, there should be over 12,000 feet of drop. And we include the observer, which is 1,000 feet in this observation. And you can see it. Globers have said, if you can see this, the Earth is not a globe, and you can see it, and the Earth's still not a globe. They still believe it's a globe. Here's 50,000 feet of missing curvature. I've actually got a chat GPT conversation with the globe head whose brain was melting. He plugged in these figures and said, could we see this on the globe? And the chat GPT told him this would be geometrically impossible on a globe. There's 9.5 miles of missing curvature. We have systems like the SPS-55 search and rescue radar system. They travel 190 kilometers, bounce off a boat they're looking for, and come back to the receiver. That would not work if we had a geometric radar horizon due to the curvature of the Earth. There's also world record microwave links and land surveyors. Also, the microwave engineers don't account for the curvature when they're putting in the towers. Plane surveying assumes the Earth is flat, not curved, for 100 square miles. They disregard curvature and treat the Earth as a flat plane. We've got more laser tests, we've got boats, but also we've got childish arguments from the other side, like things wouldn't disappear bottom first on a flat Earth, which I find just ridiculous because you can put your phone down on the ground and watch things disappear bottom first. Hold on, I'll just pull up a different video.
Okay, we still got 10 seconds left.
Excellent. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Globers have not figured out why things disappear bottom first on a flat Earth. Well, I assure you, this is not a curving field. You put your phone down and you simply walk away from it. Riveting. Let's pass it to Angel. Thanks for playing, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Nathan, for your introductory statement. We're going to, kick it over to Angel to wrap up our introductions. Once again, thank you to our live chat for being so lively and engaged. No pun there intended. So let's set the 6 minutes on the floor, and yeah, it's all yours, Angel.
You can see my screen.
Yes, they can now.
This is pitch data that shows the aircraft was flying at the same altitude for 2 hours, flying 500 miles per hour with a positive pitch. As you can see, this orange line shows the positive pitch of the plane. That black line underneath it is 0 degrees. So you can see for 2 hours, the plane was at the same altitude and it maintained a positive pitch. So it flew 1,000-mile distance with a positive pitch over the Earth, meaning the nose of the plane was tilted up a few degrees. The reason the plane keeps a positive attitude is to maintain altitude and generate lift. Now, if you're flying around a globe, it would be impossible to have positive pitch over 2 hours over 1,000 miles distance and not gain altitude on a globe. You would have to correct for the curvature of the Earth by changing orientation of the plane relative to the curved surface. This pitch data directly shows the contrary. It didn't happen. Planes don't do this in reality. You can see here, very, very, very basic. If this plane was flying over a curved surface, it would have to change orientation and drop below horizontal relative to the ground to keep up with the curvature of the Earth. But all pilots admit they do not need to nose down. They do not need to adjust for curvature simply because the curvature is not there. The FAA trains pilots to assume a flat, non-rotating Earth and to ignore a gravity vector, even in the simulations that they use, because the Earth is flat and non-rotating. Here are several clips of pilots I've debated that admit they don't adjust for curvature and don't need to nose down.
In straight and level flight, stick a bowling ball down the aisle. It will roll to the back of the plane. That's because the plane in level flight actually flies about 2 degrees nose up.
Yeah, it's pitch attitude, but yeah.
Maintains rigidity in space, right? So if you were to tilt the plane up, down, roll, it would show up on the attitude indicator, right? Okay. So if you were to fly from the North Pole, or, you know, to say Australia to the south under here, would your attitude indicator be upside down?
No, it wouldn't.
Welcome to Flat Earth. Do you adjust for curvature every minute when flying 500 miles per hour?
See, again, it's more convoluted. Yeah, I know, because but it's hard explaining this to somebody that's never been, like, that doesn't know basic flight instruments. It's very, like...
Says the guy who I just told you what rigid in space is. You got to stop.
Yeah, again, but it's, again, I've been a commercial pilot. I may have learned that in my private pilot book, but I'm saying we don't, like, I'm saying rigid in space.
Do you adjust nose down around the globe every minute when you fly at 500 miles per hour?
No.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yes, I guess.
How often do you have to adjust for the curvature of the Earth?
You don't have to adjust.
You maintain the same altitude around the globe. Is this line curved?
The line curves because we're taking into consideration the curvature of the Earth.
We take it down.
We do not need to nose down at all.
Does the aircraft ever need to dip its nose down to account for curvature?
No.
A plane wishing to fly 500 miles per hour, typical cruising speed, would have to account for 2,777 feet of curvature drop every minute, or they would continue on in a straight path into space and end up 166,000 feet above the Earth after covering 500 miles if the Earth were a sphere.
But obviously this doesn't happen because Earth is not a sphere, and planes fly straight and level over the Earth. That is also straight and level. This is a time lapse of the horizon, and you can see how the horizon line changes. This proves that the horizon is not in a geometric location, but it is optical, and it changes day to day, hour to hour. So this is the reason why sometimes when we see too far, the bottoms of buildings or whatever we're looking at is obscured. It's just atmospheric distortion and atmospheric lensing. Now, the Globers like to claim that their model makes predictions, and I agree. Their model predicts that for a 1-foot observer, the horizon will be no further than 1.25 miles, yet we keep seeing past this value and debunking the radius value, and in doing so, if we debunk the radius value, the whole heliocentric model falls apart. So I'm going to show a video of another black swan observation and the original black swan on the bottom.
So this is another version of the oil rig observation. So the camera is placed in the guard railing between cafe and restroom showers, and you're going to look here. When we look at the elevation, it is set at 8 feet. So Google Earth reads this as 8 feet off of the water, which is a little higher than the 1-foot camera stuff that we did earlier. And then we're going to take a draw line to the first platform, which is called platform C, which is directly out in front of it, and then another one a little bit off to the right, which is platform habitat. And when we pull back and look at the distances of these two, we will notice the curvature calculator, just to pull that up real fast. And then remember, this was shot October 23rd, 2017, so over 2 years ago at sunrise. The first one is at a distance of 6.08 miles, platform C, and then the second one off the distance platform habitat at 10.1 miles. Why are these two important? Well, because at 8-foot elevation, the globe Earth's horizon should be less than 3.5 miles, meaning the horizon should be in front of these things. 29 feet of habitat should be blocked by the curvature in front of these objects, and yet all the habitat is visible, even with some compression. And you'll notice, and we'll draw a line here in a second, that the horizon is clearly behind these objects. And what makes this footage and all footage like it's so important is that these are static objects, meaning these are not boats. These are always in one place. They're not moving or floating anywhere. And we'll draw the green line on this, and you can see, again, it's not hard to see. Somewhere way, way, way off in the distance is the horizon, way further than 10.1 miles. And that should not be. There's no curvature. I mean, and that only happens on a flat world. You will not see this on a curved thing, because eventually these objects should be over the side of the hill. They should be behind the curve. And we just don't see that. These two oil platforms, again, one at 6 and one at 10, are right in front. So tell me optically how that happens. Tell me what atmospheric condition can put the horizon behind these objects. You want to say it's a mirage? Okay, well, if you do that, you can never say that a boat is being chopped in half by the horizon. Because you say, well, no, that's real. A boat being chopped in half by the horizon line, you know, with heavy compression and refraction. Oh, no, that's real. But this right here, sunrise, couldn't be clear conditions. Not a cloud in the sky, shooting off at oil platforms at 6 miles and 10 miles, respectively. You can't tell me that this is a mirage. No, no way. And even if you do say it's a mirage, tell me how a mirage puts the horizon behind the objects. That's the big key here. Do this with any sort of piece of paper. Bend it in half. Put 2 dots on the other side. Tell me how the horizon is behind those dots. If it's a globe, it cannot be. This.
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Angel, for your introductory statement there in the presentation. We appreciate you being here at Modern Day Debate. And Yeah, we're going to hit into an open discussion. Big reminder to our audience, we'll be doing a Q&A at the end. There's all kinds of questions already flying in. Everybody's curious to pick your guys' brain at the end of this conversation already. But if you have a question, you're hanging in the live chat and you don't think we're getting to it, you can ask that, and we'll ask those questions at the end of the show. So let's put it to the other side, Peter and Tony, to respond to some of what they just heard, and then, jump in, and it's open discussion time there, fellas.
Okay, so most of what we just heard feeds into in unusual atmospheric conditions you can see further than geometry alone indicates. That is not exclusively, that does not exclude a globe, nor does it include a globe. So I don't consider these I don't consider optical observations that persuasive. Nathan's example with his with walking away with his camera, the camera was obviously tilted upwards. That's just deceptive. Robert's, Angel's thing about planes, the pitch of planes, isobars are curved. Isobars follow the curve of the Earth. So you don't need to adjust the pitch of the plane to follow the isobar. It's simply a fact of physics that the plane will follow the curve of the isobar because the isobar is curved. So this nonsense of that pitch data demonstrates that the Earth is flat, absolutely untrue. The training manual also assumes that planes are rigid. Planes are not rigid. They also assume that the plane's mass is constant. The plane's mass is not constant. It changes through time. So aircraft manuals make a bunch of simplifying assumptions. And one of those is that the Earth is flat. Also radar bouncing signal. You can bounce radar off the upper troposphere and get a return signal. That's not indicative of a flat Earth. So yeah, all of that was optics and misunderstanding of how physics works. Also, I take exception with Nathan describing my presentation as only computer presentations. I presented the lengths of railway tracks and I presented observational data of earthquake propagation. I don't understand how you can describe either of those as computer simulations.
I just want to mention before we get off too far off that is Nathan mentioned the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Clock app. Guys, please do not download that unless you want your GPS location, your email address, and your password doxed to the entire internet, because it's got a major security hemorrhage right now, and Flat Earth Dave is just sweeping it under the rug. So go watch some of Michael Toon's videos on it before you download it unless you want your data to be doxed.
All right. Thoughts on the other side? You're free to jump in at any time here, Angel and
Yeah, so just a nut to our observations, that's refraction. The Earth just looks flat, but it's actually curved. Trust me, bro. Are you serious?
So how do you explain sunlight getting onto? So you appeal to absolutely unphysical optical effects in order to explain sunlight and why the bottom of objects are obscured, right? You did exactly the same thing. Yes, you did. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as atmospheric compression, mate. It's something that flat earthers made up.
Oh, really?
So
did you
if
see
you're
my
going
opening?
to appeal to something that is imaginary, you can't turn around and say, well, refraction doesn't explain away our observations.
Did you see my opening where the horizon changed up and down? What is that?
Yes, I did.
It's atmospheric turbulence, Angel.
So
you know what atmospheric turbulence is.
Did the Earth breathe in and
nobody's denying that optical effects change where the horizon seems to be.
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Pardon?
So the horizon's not geometric now.
Angel, you just sound stupid when you say that. Stop saying that.
That is the opposite of what I said. I said if how far you can see depends on atmospheric conditions, that is an influence of atmospheric conditions. If there are constraints on what you can see that apply regardless of the atmospheric conditions, then that's a geometric artifact, right? Geometry is constant. Atmospheric conditions vary. And so the argument that, well, atmospheric conditions vary, therefore there's no geometry, is not logically valid. That's a flawed syllogism. You can't make the argument that there's no geometry simply from the observation that atmospheric conditions vary. They've got nothing to do with one another.
Is the geometric curvature of the Earth the horizon?
The horizon is how far you can see. The true horizon is determined by the geometry of the Earth. The apparent horizon is influenced by optical conditions.
All right, let's let Nathan jump in there, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm going to read here from The Art of Perspective, because we got people saying, oh, the camera's just tilted up. I mean, if the camera was tilted down, you'd just be looking at grass. You wouldn't be able to see anyone walking away.
We were just looking at grass.
Can I finish, sir? I'll let you guys finish. I didn't interrupt once, Mr. Malarkey. So Art of Perspective, right? All linear perspective is based on the idea that parallel lines are receding from you to meet in the distance. Parallel lines do not curve. That's a simple Google search. Thanks for playing Globeheads. Also, let me turn to the next page. Describes what is one-point linear perspective. And then it has a paragraph about the horizon versus eye level. It says, we're all pretty familiar with what the horizon is. Apparently not. In the railroad picture, you can see where the flat land meets the sky. That's what it says. That imaginary line where the sky meets the land is the horizon. The problem is, on a globe religion, you need a physical geometric horizon obstructing boats. For a 1-foot observer, be 1.22 miles away. We've done observations where the horizon is past 9.5 miles. And then we present this to globers, and they'll go to their advanced Earth curve calculators. And I've got the videos of this. Slide the refraction bar all the way over to the right, which makes the radius value of the Earth 39 million miles when globers claim it's 4,000. And then makes the distance on surface 122 miles for a 1-foot observer, which, I mean, according to perspective, is just completely unfalsifiable. So they have made their globe unfalsifiable with video games. And then they want to sit here and say, we don't understand curvature. We don't understand perspective. We have fleur perspective. When we have books on perspective and we have to read it to you and tell you what the horizon is is synonymous with the vanishing point. I actually forgot to read that paragraph, but there's a paragraph in here talks about your vanishing line is your horizon and how it's always at eye level. So of course things are going to disappear bottom first because the ground, which is physical, you can't see through it, is appearing to ramp up. Concave earthers will call this upward curvature. The sky appears to ramp down. Globeheads will call this downward curvature. That is all simply due to perspective, the way our eyes work. Things would disappear bottom due to atmospheric magnification, due to Rayleigh criterion. You could have foreshortening, topography in the foreground, could obstruct larger things in the distance because the larger things in the distance have shrunk in angular size. So you guys are cooked. Thanks for playing. I'm done.
Guys, you should stop playing your own referee because it just makes you look stupid. Saying thanks for playing, welcome to Flat Earth. You guys are, done or you're cooked. That's just you playing referee in your own debate.
Yeah. Typically, the participants in a contest don't get to decide if they've won or not. But to Nathan's point, Nathan just made the point that we explain being able to see too far with optical effect, by invoking refraction, atmospheric distortion, etc. Yes, just like you explain sunsets by introducing optical effects and distortion, just like you explain bottom-up obstruction by introducing optical effects and distortion. This is why, he claims, therefore the globe is unfalsifiable. Well, how about we look at data sets where it is falsifiable? How about we look at distance measurements, right? I showed distance measurements. I showed the length of railway tracks. These are things that you can go and measure that are on the ground, and you can measure their length, and you can demonstrate that that 5 degrees of longitude in Western Australia is shorter than the 5 degrees of longitude that separate Pensacola and Jacksonville. This is a measurable, whereas the flat Earth requires that the southern hemisphere arc be longer than the northern hemisphere arc. So, you know, this is you want to whine about optical observations. We can look at distance measurements. We can measure the distance between these two objects. It's a physical railway line, right? This is a physical object. So, you know, why aren't we talking about stuff that we can actually measure and confirm?
We were. You.
No, you weren't. You were talking about optical data.
Right. Let me share my screen then.
All right,
let me share my screen.
Yeah, let's give Angel the floor for a couple here. And
How far?
You're up.
How far away is the horizon for an 8-foot observer, Tony?
That depends on optical conditions, Angel.
Oh, so it's not in a geometric location.
No, it's not, Angel.
The atmosphere does happen to exist, Angel. You might have missed that.
So the atmosphere just makes the Earth look flat here, right? Is that your claim?
Flat
No,
Is that your rebuttal?
it doesn't, because I can't see, for instance, I can't see the mountains. I can't see the mountains of the Himalayas, which are like 10 kilometers tall. I can't see them in this.
Wow, dude. You can't see the end of your road and you want to see halfway across the Earth? Are you serious?
Well, actually,
that's
yes,
how
I am
perspective
serious.
should
I
work,
am
Angel.
serious. It's 10 kilometers. It's 10
Are you
kilometers
serious,
tall.
dude? Are you
yes,
serious?
I am serious.
Okay, this horizon line that's behind 10.1 miles, right? Is that...
We've already explained that this is optical. This is optical. This is all optics. I don't care about optics.
Hang on. I'm not actually seeing that horizon. It's actually not there.
You are seeing it. It's an optical
Welcome
effect.
to Flat Earth.
Angel,
Welcome to Flat Earth.
Will you
Playing
stop
referee
saying
again.
that? That is idiotic. It's just an idiotic statement.
No, it's
so
not.
this is the other thing. This is the other thing I wanted to make. You know, Nathan brought up in his presentation how he's had debates with all of these people and none of them have presented evidence. None of them have been able to prove a globe Earth. Yes, they have. You just have declined to accept their evidence. Angel saying welcome to Flat Earth is not actually an argument. It's him asserting that he thinks his argument is plausible when in fact it isn't. He is just making up that this stuff is plausible.
You're saying I'm not seeing that horizon there.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's never what I've said.
Okay, so where is the geometric curvature of the Earth? Is that the horizon? I'm going to ask again.
No.
The horizon that you're seeing is the horizon that you are seeing is a combination of optical and geometric effects.
Does
you
the boat
cannot
go over the curvature of the
deconvolve
Earth?
them.
Does the boat disappear when you look at it, when it goes away from you? Is it going over the curvature of the Earth?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, how come I was able to pull it back into view in my video I showed you?
You weren't.
Well,
I mean, unless
boats that are actually obscured,
do I need to share it?
I don't remember the video you're talking about, Angel. It might.
I don't remember you showing that. So show the video.
It was in my presentation, and I'm ready.
Well, show it.
You guys are literally going to say, no, it didn't go over the curve yet. Watch.
Angel, can I
Well, maybe we'll say that if it didn't go over the curve.
Which is my whole point.
There are two phenomena that you guys mix up all the time. There's occlusion and there's perspective.
All right, thank you for that, Lenny. Go ahead, Nathan.
Nathan's trying to
thank you.
Go ahead.
So I can't believe I still have to explain this, guys. It's almost 2025, but we've got Globers saying, I can't see Mount Everest. I can't see Mount Kilimanjaro from like another continent. We do see too far. That is one of our arguments, but we don't see forever. Now, we talked about bottom-up obstruction, but there's also something called atmospheric perspective. And like there's this first chapter in the book. It talks about when you look at any distant object, a hill, a city skyline, a barn, it does not look the same as it would up close. The air between you and the object acts like a veil or filter that inhibits the passage of light from an object to your eyes. You could look up articles on anomalous propagation of electromagnetic energy. Talks about how light doesn't travel forever. It's attenuated, which means it's absorbed or refracted through the atmos. The four main things that cause the absorption or refraction of the light are going to be water vapor, carbon dioxide, oxygen, and ozone. So
We're familiar with this stuff, Nathan.
Yeah, but the audience might not be, Peter. So let me educate the audience because as I said earlier, I'm talking to the audience, not you guys.
Yeah, but you're
guys have
uneducating the audience. That's the problem.
I'm literally reading from a book on perspective, Mr.
You're taking it out of context and twisting it into something it's not supposed to be, because you can't use attenuation and haze in order to explain why we can't see Mount Everest, because there is no ramp of distant objects disappearing into a fog. It doesn't work.
Are you joking?
Are you kidding? Let me just read it again, Angel, please.
So,
When you look at any distant object, a hill like Mount Everest,
yes,
a city skyline,
look at the horizon that is on Angel's screen right
Can
now.
you stop interrupting?
Do you see the ramp?
Sun worshipper, can you stop interrupting, please?
Oh, okay. You must not be talking to me.
Well,
Do you see
just one second?
do you see the ramp in the horizon?
Okay, Mr. Malarkey, drink some fluoride water. You've been crying for 20 minutes now. Can I finish? Post.
I haven't shed a
Please.
single tear despite your pantomiming.
I do want to let Peter finish his point, just because he has had the least amount of time on the panel, just to be fair here, and then we'll let Angel wrap up his screen share.
Thank you.
Okay, well, the purpose Angel had in bringing this up, we can get to that, but I just want to ask Nathan, where is the ramp at the horizon of distant objects receding into a fog?
When you look at any distant object, a hill, a city, a skyline, or a barn, does not look the same as it would up close. The air between you and the object acts like.
All right, yeah, cling to your textbook like your
Also,
life depends on it.
This is how they paint mountains in the distance.
Perspective.
Yeah, okay, there you go. There's a little bit of a ramp of objects receding into a fog there.
See this? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So you can't see forever. You wouldn't see Mount Everest from 3,000 miles away, even if the Earth was.
Why not?
Sometimes.
Let me ask this. So the Himalayas are 2,000 kilometers wide. They're covered in snow, and when the sun rises and hits that snow, why can't I see it? Right? They're going to be dazzlingly. It's going to be dazzlingly bright. I see the sun on the horizon, right? So the Himalayas are going to similarly be dazzlingly bright. Why doesn't anybody ever see them except within the radius that we might expect from Earth curvature?
Because you can't see forever. Also, I live near mountains.
Why? What's your evidence of that? What's your evidence of that?
Just chill out for a second. I live near mountains.
No, Ed, prove your statement.
No, chill.
All right, just one second. We're going to give Angel the floor, just to make that clear that this is going to be your time now. So go ahead there, Angel.
You guys are cooked. So I live near mountains. Sometimes I see the mountains. Other times when it's more hazy, I don't see the mountains.
Yes, but there isn't always.
Did the mountain go by? Did the mountain?
So you're arguing that I should only be able to see the Himalayas sometimes, but I never see the Himalayas.
All right, Tony. I don't want to mute you.
I know you're losing, dude. I know you're losing. Stop interrupting me. I don't see mountains.
Better to be losing than a loser.
All right, let's just stop trying to bait each other. Let's carry into your example, okay?
Yeah.
So no more meta if we can help it. No more meta if we can help it. Just let's carry into the example.
So on screen, can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Do you see anything in the horizon? Yes, you can see this ship to the right. Is there anything in the middle of the screen right now?
Not that I can see at this resolution, no.
Great. So anything that's gone beyond that horizon, which is geometric curvature, according to you guys, has gone behind the curve. Now watch what's going to happen. And then I'm ready for you to say no.
Don't straw man. That's not necessarily true. Don't straw man.
Oh, really? So when a boat disappears as it goes over this line, what's happened to the boat when you can't see it?
Depends on the observation. Show us the observation. We can easily tell you which is which.
Tell me now. Tell me now.
I can't. Not enough data.
You can't, because I'm going to debunk your claim.
No, because the two things are different. De-resolution versus occultation. Learn the difference. Learn the difference if you want to argue about the globe.
So we don't have the optical resolution to identify something on the horizon. That doesn't mean that there isn't something there, right? And it doesn't mean that the thing we can't see has gone over the horizon. By definition, if it had gone over the horizon, we wouldn't be able to see it, right? So you are not, in fact, pulling something back from over the horizon. You are simply increasing the resolution that applies to the object in the middle of the image. This again is just optical tricks.
Correct.
This is why distance measurements, earthquake data, earthquake propagation data,
that you
atmospheric
desperately wanna
wave
go to.
propagation data. This is why this is not conclusive evidence either way.
Okay.
You're not going to convince me that the Earth is flat using this evidence. Zoom in.
Well, let's let him play his video,
Okay.
but I will say just before
Alright,
you play
yeah.
it, if you could turn the volume of the video down to like 60% because it's clipping my preamp over here. The volume's really loud, I think, on the PC, so you don't have to worry about people hearing it. If you can turn it down on your end there, Angel.
So now boats that go over this line are not going over the curvature of the Earth like Neil deGrasse Tyson says. Oh, good. All right, I was expecting that anyway, so I'm going to play.
No,
straw
that's
manning.
not what we said.
Or
And
straw
stop
manning.
misrepresenting what we say.
Do you see the boat now?
Oh,
you
where's the
see-
bottom of that boat?
In the water.
It's in the water. It's in the water.
They put boats in the water, Einstein. You can't see the bottom of
Yeah.
boats. They're in the water.
Do you see,
Holy crap,
guys?
Yeah,
Y'all,
there-
Globers,
y'all have lost
You
the
should
plot, bro.
probably be able to see more of the bottom of the boat than
Y'all have lost the
is
plot.
there.
you will when I zoom in more. Do you see
Okay,
how
go
that
ahead.
buoy? Hang on. Do you
Just
see
like-
how that? Do you see how that buoy is lower than the boat in the distance?
Yeah, the
It
buoy's
appears
in the
lower.
foreground. It's not over the horizon. Good job.
Great. So as we look further into the horizon on the globe, it doesn't dip down and away. It keeps rising up. Funny that.
That's not true. That's just a.
That's not true.
That's what? Are you
Just
kidding?
show it, bro.
Are you
These
joking?
people just gnaw everything. Look, you can see the wake of the boat splashing as it goes through the water, dude.
Okay, so
Let me see
that
the-
boat looks to me like it's right at the horizon. So maybe none of it is obscured.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
but
none
it's-
of it's obscured. Yeah.
So wait till okay. And all the way.
But
there.
what was
Can you
this
see-
meant
Can you
to
see the
you know
boat?
how to
Like-
zoom out a lens.
Can you see the boat? They stop running away. Can you
No,
see the
but
boat?
that's just
You de-
resolution.
you
That's a
de-resolved it. Good job.
resolution problem. That's not
It
a.
didn't
That's
get-
not an obscuring. As
Thank
Peter
you.
has pointed this
All right, we're
out
gonna
a
let Tony
million
respond.
times, resolution is not the same as obscuration. You know, the fact that you can't see it is a matter of resolution. You can't see the buoy either. Nobody's claiming that the buoy is over the horizon, right? But you can't resolve the buoy here either, right? So, you know, this is just a matter of resolution. The more you zoom, the further you can see. Great, but you'll never be able to see, you'll never be able to zoom back into view something that has actually physically gone over the horizon. And so again, we're back to this argument of both sides saying, well, optical conditions are what dictate how far you can see. And again, we've run into the same roadblock. And again, we should be talking about distance measurements and other data sets that can discriminate between the two. Let's look at, may I share my screen?
Let's just run away that the boat didn't go over
No,
the curve.
no,
and
Angel,
shoot
hold on.
angular
Let me
resolution.
ask you guys
Thank
a question. Okay, can I ask a
Well,
question?
Just before you ask your question, just if you can hold it for 2 seconds. Your video is finished, I take it there, Angel, or?
Yeah, I'll stop.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, Tony, you are welcome to share your screen, and Peter, if you want to go ahead and.
Well, Peter can go first because he's probably got something that's more relevant.
Go ahead.
Well, this is a segue into your thing, Tony, because Angel keeps crying when you try to change the subject back to this. Okay, let's
I'm having a good time.
Oh, good. Let's imagine a scenario. Okay, you're in a room with 2 windows. One window is clean and clear and large, and you can see plainly through it. The other window is small and shabby, and the glass is glazed and it's covered in dirt, and you can barely see anything through it. Now, you have a friend or maybe a child who's trying to look outside and say, oh, there's Bigfoot in the front yard. But he's looking through the small, dirty window, and you keep inviting him to look through the large, clear window and say, look, no, it's just the mailman. But nope, he insists on looking through the small, dirty window. That's exactly what you guys are doing. You insist on using the methodology that is completely buried in confounding variables and is bad science. So let's look through the clear window, shall we, please?
I respond now.
Go ahead there.
All right. So PhD said, let's let Peter go. He has something more relevant. So Tony didn't have anything relevant on the topic. And then Peter went and he said, let's pretend you're in a room with 2 windows, and then went on for 60 seconds. This is hilarious, guys.
Did
Can
you
we
listen
talk
to a
about-
word I said, Nathan?
Yeah, I did. Let's talk about your space.
No,
religion
I don't think you
violation.
did. I don't
Okay, let's
think.
talk
Prove you
about-
listened to a word I said.
There's a clear window and there's a dirty window. And you're like, let's look out the dirty window. When we're saying, let's look out the clear window, riveting. Okay, your space religion violates all the gas laws and the second law of thermodynamics because all the gas laws have a V for volume. And
Here
continuous
comes the red
actually
herring
how-
fallacies.
Okay.
All right, we're going to let Tony have the floor there, fellas.
So here's another way we can prove that the Earth cannot be planar. If you have 3 points in a plane, they can form an equilateral triangle, right? Each of these points is the same distance away from the other 2 points. But you can't have 4 points that are where each point is the same distance from every other point. One of those points is going to be further away. But you can have it in 3 dimensions. In 3 dimensions, you can have 4 points, each point being an equal distance away from the other 3 points. So that's how you can have 4 equidistant points. So if we can identify 4 equidistant points on Earth's surface, that will prove that the Earth is not planar. And indeed we can. Here we have Dumpy Creek, Goljo, Kenya, Portazuela, Chile, and Inuvik, Canada. Their spherical distances are the same. When we plot them up on azimuthal plots, each of them lies the same distance from the other 3. How can we confirm this? We can look at flight times. We can look at flight times between them and the nearest airports. So we can consider Sydney to Santiago. We consider, and if you look at this, so these are the flights, the outbound and inbound. I've taken the average of those. Then I've just multiplied those by 880 kilometers, and I've compared that with the spherical distance formula. So we can see that the spherical distance formula always agrees with the distances predicted from just looking at the travel times.
All right. Well, you have that up. If there's any response, we should let them respond to what you have on the screen,
Okay.
and then we'll let you carry on since you're trying to push us into some new territory. So, Nathan or Angel, did you want to make some commentary on what you're hearing?
Okay, first of all, we have no way to verify these measurements. And 2, how did you measure the speed of the jet streams at the time during these airplane flights? Because that's going to drastically affect how long it took for the airplane to fly. This is a total joke.
Because I'm using the outbound and the inbound. So I'm using the flight times in both directions, and the jet streams only flow in one direction, don't they, Nathan? You know that.
You had a trade winds that go the other way?
And they change.
Not over the same route.
If you look at these, actually, the Sydney to Santiago one is the only one that is on a the only one that is on a
it's the only
it's the only sort of largely east-west one. So it's the only one that can go in that. This one is you can look at Dubai as the closest international airport to. So you can do those checks. Another check that we can do is submarine cables. Again, we can look at the submarine cable from Sydney to Seattle, which is close to one of our points. We can look at the cable length. We can compare it to the spherical distance.
How you measured that cable?
How did you measure that cable?
Well, if you look at this, you can see that the latency is 135 milliseconds. It's basically 10 milliseconds per 1,000 kilometers. Similarly, also, if you
are you on nitrous oxide or something, Nathan?
You're claiming
you guys are hilarious, bro. Look at this cartoon.
It's not a cartoon. It's a diagram. Learn the difference, Nathan.
So submarine cables cost more than $3 million a kilometer. So if a submarine cable is much longer than is reported, somebody is out of pocket more than $3 million per kilometer.
Can I respond to that? Can I respond to that?
Yeah,
can you show me a cable? Can you show me a cable that connects Australia to South America?
No.
Why?
There is none.
Why?
Because there's not enough traffic to make it worthwhile.
Oh, really?
You guys have been so funny.
How do you know that?
Yes. Jesus, I just explained that these things cost $3 million a kilometer, and they don't put them in there just for fun.
You said
you're asking an economics question. There's other ways to connect between Australia and South America.
Thank you for that, Lenny. Thank you for that. You said that they. Tony, you said that the length is something they look at, right?
Yes.
Great. On the globe, is South America close to Australia?
Closer than it is on the
not-
flat Earth, that's for sure.
And there's no cables. Thank you.
It's pretty far away still.
Angel, I'd like to get to
Yeah.
the religion.
I'm sure you. Anyway, you can also use GPS stations at each of these locations. You can look at their X, Y, and Z coordinates, and you can determine whether or not they are in the same plane. Some simple first-year geometry shows you that that in fact the distance of the fourth point from the plane defined by the other 3 points is 9,000 kilometers. So they do not emphatically lie in the same plane. Another point of evidence that you can use, if you look down on a tetrahedron from
this is a one-on-one debate. We got 4 people in the debate, bro. You're just presenting.
Okay, well, I am
wasting a lot of time.
Like one thing to talk about, because we have one thing we want to talk about, and then we'll go back.
Okay.
And forth.
I am presenting the evidence substantiating my claim so that you can
wrap it
respond
up.
to it.
Wrap it up.
Well, I was
Okay,
gonna
so
say,
the angles between
sorry,
these
Mark.
lines are meet at 120 degrees, exactly as would be predicted if you're looking down on a tetrahedron.
I agree. Thank you for that. Can we move on now?
All right, let's wrap up the
Oh,
screen.
welcome to the
what?
globe, Angel.
Do what?
All right, I got a question. Could you have gas pressure around a tire rim without the rubber tire around the tire rim?
Yes.
Oh, really? How would you contain gas pressure around a tire rim without a tire?
Well, it would be atmospheric pressure, wouldn't it?
No, it would just be gas pressure around a tire. Now you're
Well, you asked if I could you asked if I could maintain gas pressure. Yes, if I have a tire and then I take the tire away, I've still got gas there. There's still gas pressure, right? That was your question. If you wanted to ask the question properly, you could say, can you maintain the pressure inside a tire once you've taken the tire away or it no longer contains it? If that was the question you meant to ask, then you would get the answer you expected, which was no, you can't maintain the high pressure. But that is different. But that is you've also stumbled into a falsehood here when you claim that the gas laws don't include gravity, because they do. The gas laws include gravity in the pressure term. Pressure inside a hydrostatic fluid is due to the weight of the overlying material, which is dependent on gravity.
All right, Angel, you were shaking your head no
What?
there, so jump on in.
Okay, well,
pressure is the force per area. It's measured in pascals. It's measured in
What do you think that force is? Where do you think that force comes from?
It's the pressure of the gas pushing in all directions. The fluids push out in all directions, Einstein.
Yeah, but it's affected by gravity.
All right,
It's affected by the weight.
We're gonna let Angel in here, and then you can respond there, Peter. I know that you've been also patient, so go ahead, Angel.
The definition of gas pressure is the amount of force exerted by the particles on the walls of its container. You guys are claiming. No,
that's absolutely not true.
Are you kidding?
I can put a pressure sensor in the atmosphere, right, and it will detect gas pressure. Even though it's
is the
not
Earth contained?
Pardon?
Is the Earth contained then?
No.
Oh, so you're doing a circular logic.
No, you didn't let him finish his logic. Stop calling it circular after you interrupt.
Thank you, Lenny. Can you tell me every single example of pressurized systems we have need containment, except your Earth, right?
No, they don't. Well, they don't need physical containment.
They don't. Which is one that doesn't need physical containment without doing a bigger question
plasma generation inside a tokamak nuclear reactor is not obtained by a physical container. It's obtained by applying a force, which is electromagnetic force, to the plasma. So that's not a substance. That's not a substance.
Can you show the evidence for that?
Are you guys denying how nuclear fusion works now?
So I've got to look up your evidence.
The tokamak is in a container. It's contained.
Well,
it has walls.
Yeah, I thought so. There you go.
Thank
It
you.
does have walls, but that's not what's containing the gas inside. The gas is being
The
contained.
electromagnet. So
You
do
guys,
you
you guys are-
understand? Do you understand? Do you understand what a tokamak reactor is?
A container.
It's,
Thanks for
it's
playing.
contained. It's contained. We just exposed you. So
No, you
Stop
didn't.
playing
expose
referee,
anything.
Angel.
It-
You're
it-
bad at it.
So it's
so where's the
so
example
the
then?
plasma.
Show us.
If the plasma were allowed to come into physical contact with the walls of the container, it would burn through the container. The container cannot come into physical contact with the plasma. That's the whole point of the reactor. You're trying to generate so much heat, but you can't allow that heat to come into physical contact with the container. And the physical container is there basically to preserve vacuum around the plasma. That's what the container is for. It's not for holding in the plasma. It's for holding out the atmosphere.
So you need a container to have a vacuum.
That's not what he
No,
was saying.
that's not what I said either.
Oh, what's containing the vacuum?
What's containing what vacuum?
Didn't you just say there's a vacuum in there?
I
The
said
vacuum
there's
is
a
holding
vacuum
out
in
the atmosphere of the
yes,
Earth.
but that the
But-
statement about a vacuum cannot be generalized to a statement about all vacuums. That is again a logical fallacy, and
Can
you
you-
are attempting, in bad faith, I might point out, you cannot be ignorant of the fact that this is just not how logic works.
Says the guy who gave us a contained example. So how do you recreate a vacuum without a container?
Well, but there exist vacuums that aren't contained.
We can't control things on that scale.
For instance, in Earth's atmosphere, there is about one gas particle every the about 98% of the atmosphere is empty. It doesn't have gas particles in it.
All right, we're gonna
How come the pressure? How come it doesn't equalize?
last question.
How come it doesn't equalize gravity?
So does gas move in all directions regardless of gravity?
No.
All right, now you're taking
really?
advantage.
So-
All right, we're gonna hand the floor back over to Nathan because he is waiting with his screen share. Oh, you guys though, I love it. There's
We're
been a
way
few
off
little
into the weeds, though. I don't want to entertain this too long.
It's all right. I think, like I say, in the interest of being fair, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Not it's not up for me or you to decide. Of course, it's up to the speakers to present what they find relevant to their side. So,
I'm gonna call him out for being off topic, though. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I have no idea, so we're gonna let Nathan explain what he's got up here.
So real quick, I can get 60 seconds, host. Is that okay? Because I don't have much more to say until the Q&A, but I wanted to just cover some things without being interrupted.
All right. Well, we still got 8 minutes of the open discussion, but yeah, I'll ask everybody respectfully to give you a minute, and if they want to interrupt, then I'll just put them on mute. You've been warned. All right, we'll give you a minute. Go ahead.
Mainstream science, like mathematics and astronomy, has something called the three-body problem. I call it like the 6 silver platter problem, where you give them 6 assumptions on a silver platter, and then they play a video game, which is chaotic and doesn't work for making predictions. They assume the Earth is a globe. They assume the Earth is spinning. They assume the Earth is orbiting around the sun. They assume gravity is real, even though it's never been scientifically experimented on and validated. They assume gravitational orbits are real, even though they can't model that, admittedly. They say they need something bigger. Then they have another assumption where they assume the vacuum of space is real, which we just covered. It's not. And then they play a video game, and the system becomes chaotic. They can't make any predictions. Ask Fred Espenak. He does the eclipses predictions for NASA. He also did ephemerides for the planetary motion for the next 12 years, the motion of the moon and the motion of the planet for the next 12 years on a geocentric Earth. And this is a NASA Goddard employee. And so I want to move out of the space religion, which we haven't been to, we can't verify, and ask these globers, if the Earth spins, how would it affect our atmosphere? Would it move in unison as one cohesive, synchronized body? Or would the atmosphere be separate from the Earth, working somewhat like a blender, because it's not rigid and attached to the Earth? Which one is it, A or B, Globers?
It's A.
Oh, A.
Basically, everything you just said is wrong, Nathan. Just say that to the audience.
I will
Can you
point
answer
out.
A or B,
Point
Mr.
out.
Markley?
I will point out there are a number of fallacies in what you just said. I professionally study Earth's gravitational field. It's my job. I've been doing it for Earth shape and job. It's Earth shape and gravitational field. I've been doing it for over 30 years. Everything you claimed about the three-body problem, the three-body problem does not have analytical solutions except for certain few special cases. That's well known, well understood. The fact that our computer model, we can model gravity extremely well and extremely accurately. The claim that we can't scientifically demonstrate the existence of gravity is false. We can demonstrate gravitational time dilation. We use gravimetric observations to navigate submarines. We use gravimetric observations to find subsurface mineral deposits. We've been using gravity for over 100 years for this purpose, since the Nash Oil Dome was found in 1924 in Texas using gravimetric observations. So this claim that gravity doesn't exist, that it's only a theory, that it hasn't been scientifically verified, all falsehoods, all barefaced lies.
Okay, thank you for that. That wasn't even his argument, but okay.
I was talking about the atmosphere moving. You said it moves as one cohesive body. The problem with that is not.
I don't want to go into this topic because you guys haven't touched my opening presentation. Not once. You haven't touched it. I called you guys sunset deniers. Sunset. I'm a little disappointed, but not surprised. We've only got like, what, 6 minutes left of open discussion, and we haven't touched it.
Okay, we'll go to it right next. Just give me 60 seconds. So the higher layers would have to move faster if the atmosphere is traveling with the Earth. This is also opposite to what Neil deGrasse Tyson says. He's a PhD astrophysicist. His Twitter said the Earth moved under a football during a field goal. And then a column of air will not move as one cohesive body as a result of moving your hand back and forth. So you guys are denying fluid dynamics. You're invoking magical forces to drag things sideways as they increase in altitude.
This is nothing but sheer straw manning.
And you're okay. This again is false, and I can cut this off because it's pointless what you're saying. The atmosphere comes from the same accreting disk that the rest of the planet came from. Therefore, it has the same angular momentum. Angular momentum is preserved unless a force acts on the body in order to disrupt its angular momentum. Therefore, this claim about the atmosphere should not rotate at the speed it does, absolute nonsense. Any correct understanding of the physics of the system will easily disprove this. Also, Nathan's claim that he properly understands fluid dynamics
before we do have to
arbitrarily false. That's just a lie. He doesn't.
All right, let's let Angel in here.
So the atmosphere moves with the Earth. There's no Coriolis then, right?
Coriolis is not a result of atmospheric motion. When I say that the atmosphere moves with the Earth, what I mean is that wind speeds, the atmosphere is not stationary while the Earth rotates underneath it. So there are winds, there are storms, etc., etc.
If we hover a helicopter, does the Earth rotate underneath it?
No. No, because the helicopter is in the atmosphere, which is rotating with the Earth.
Rotating, right? So did you know that turning is acceleration? So not only is it just magically rotating with the Earth, but it's also breaking the first law of thermodynamics because
it's not. Energy. You're just ignorant, Angel. Can we get to my sunset evidence?
That's absolutely not true.
You got like 5 minutes left.
Conservation of angular momentum. Conservation of angular momentum, mate. If it started twisting,
can I not get interrupted?
It'll keep twisting.
All right, we're gonna let Angel wrap up his point. I'm so sorry. Like I said, you have had quite a bit of the floor time there, PhD, and it's I do understand it's very we're all passionate about what's going on here. I'm mostly just chilling, honestly. But go ahead there, Angel.
A hovering helicopter, by the way, the world record is over 50 hours, which rotated with the Earth. Turning is acceleration. Therefore, the helicopter is accelerating, right?
Wrong.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
One says yes, one says no.
All right, I'm going to do
it.
All right, so what I'm going to do.
Tony's an actual scientist. Believe his answer.
Circular motion involves an acceleration.
Believe his answer, guys. Believe his answer. That's what Peter said.
Because he understands it better. As soon as he said yes, I realized I was wrong. He's right. Circular motion involves acceleration. I assumed he meant, is it accelerating in relation to the ground, which it's not.
Yeah.
That's what I
So
meant when I
the
said
hovering
no.
helicopter is gaining energy how to accelerate?
It's
No, it's
not
not
gaining
gaining
energy.
energy. That's
there.
It's just
not
vi-
true.
so
An
it's violating
acceleration,
the
an
first law.
acceleration doesn't correspond to a gain in energy. And because an acceleration can simply mean, so acceleration has a direction and velocity has a direction. If you change the direction of motion of something, that's an acceleration, but it doesn't necessarily change its energy, right? The kinetic energy of the object hasn't changed. If I'm going 100 meters a second upwards or 100 meters a second laterally, my energy is the same, right? Regardless of which way I'm going. So an acceleration that doesn't change the velocity of the object doesn't change the kinetic energy of the object. So your argument here is just fallacious and based on not understanding physics.
All right, I'll ask you to
Simple
put a bow
physics.
onto it.
Yeah.
If you can, because I do want to be fair to Peter too, who has been very patient. I've reset
you.
the clock. I put 5 minutes on the floor in the interest of fairness. And it sounded like Nathan was pretty willing to engage with you on your presentation on robotinism, I think it is there. So you go ahead and state your case, and then we'll try to spend 5 minutes unpacking there before we go to Q&A. Everyone.
Let's let the sun worshipper go.
I'm not a sun worshiper. I'm a Christ worshiper. Thank you very much.
No.
So I already
Okay.
presented my case. Here it is again. Just with the diagram, I can also present the evidence itself. There you go. How do you explain that on a flat Earth? Sun's not moving away from us.
Well, I explain it by, for 10 years, your guys' argument was the sun doesn't shrink in angular size, and that was your argument until we took your video, put it in Photoshop, measured
No,
the.
I never.
Can
That was
respond?
never the thrust of my
Respond,
argument.
host? Otherwise, I'm done. I'll just go on mute, turn my camera off. We'll wait for the Q&A because I'm done being interrupted, bro. The entire time I've been interrupted.
All right, let's give Nathan a chance to respond here, and then we'll let you continue. So let's
Yeah,
try to keep it
okay.
short and sweet. And but yeah, where he is presenting his sides, I think he's trying to unpack as much as he can and get as much out of you as he can too. So
Yeah, can you
I'm
grab
sorry
a
about that.
pen and a paper, bro? I know you got a globefish memory. You have like a 3-second memory. You turn around inside the dome you're in. You can't remember what's on the other side, but just grab a pen, grab a paper. Anything I say that you need to attack, just wait till I'm finished and then you can attack it. The argument used to be the sun changing angular size. Then we got Peter Malarkey's video. We got Fighting Flat Earthers video. We got United Against Flat Earthers video. All these people who did solar observations with a solar filter and proved it does change angular size. Now it's the trajectory. Now it's the path of the sun. It's not linear, it's arctangent. It's like, this is such a joke, guys. If you can't see that the attenuation of light is happening, the sun is shrinking in angular size and that sun is moving away from you, there is no helping people. If you think this is caused because the floor is moving backwards 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, even though we can't feel it, we can't measure it, it's all relative, there is no helping people. So I love you guys. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, also,
So
go ahead.
you didn't actually even touch my actual argument.
What was your argument?
You need me to remind you?
Yeah.
I argued that the sun does not slow down as it sets, as it should if it was linear perspective. It also doesn't change angular size according to linear perspective. It changes angular size only a few percent, but that's irrelevant to my argument, which is...
You got 40%, bud, and I got 23%.
40%, not a couple percent.
That's not even correct.
You got 40.
That's not even correct.
Do you want me to play the video then? Do you want me to play your video?
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't... I mean, I would say yes, but in the interest of time, no, because it does not matter. It does not matter because my argument still stands, even if the sun did change angular size 40%, which is it does not.
All right, let me jump in real quick because it would change angular size. It does change angular size, and the reason it speeds up towards the horizon is because it's going through a more dense atmosphere. It's being refracted downward. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, like you literally look this up, right? Are you saying the sun sets at a linear rate the whole way?
Yes.
Oh. The rate at which the sun sets appear non-linear due to Earth's curvature and the observer position. While the sun's angle decreases at a fairly steady rate near the equator, the apparent speeds change.
Are you reading from something?
Yeah, near the horizons.
What are you reading from?
This effect occurs because the atmospheric refraction, which bends light, and our perception of the horizon. So what Nathan just said was confirmed. So thank you.
No, I don't think it was.
No.
Okay. So just not.
Moving on.
No, that's you try again to make your argument because it was incoherent. That's
Q&A?
not, no, that's just, sorry, you failed to make a coherent
The
argument.
audience understood it, so I mean,
Yeah, we
Yeah, the audience understood that you just didn't make a coherent
how much
argument.
how much does the sun change size on the globe model when it sets?
I mean, it depends on whether you measure vertically or horizontally, because the sun does get a little squished sometimes depending on atmospheric refraction. But if you measure horizontally, then it only changes by a handful of percent.
Great. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, and then let's move on. We got Q&A, bro.
Yeah.
Chat is flying.
Yeah, sure thing. I'm gonna just leave it up for the screen share for a minute here because my OBS has, unfortunately, it's been being very slow here, and it hasn't crashed, fortunately, but it is not responding right away. So I'm just gonna leave this up, and yeah, go ahead and share your screen if you'd like.
Yep. Just give me 1 second.
Very dissatisfied with you guys' attempt to touch my argument.
We're not
All
here
you
to
can do is
plow.
nitpick. That's all you can do.
And all you can do is try.
We're not here to coddle you.
All right, we still got over we got 30 seconds left of the open conversation, but we'll
Another
just let it go.
sunset
We're just
time
gonna let it
lapse
go.
with ND1 and with exposure settings down on the camera. The sunset was stopped about 15 minutes before the sun actually intersected the horizon. And as you can see, I still got a significant change in size. Here's the before and after comparison of my first time lapse, and I'm going to play it for you right now.
So again, if you measure vertically, you'll get squishing from the atmospheric refraction. I said that.
Yeah. Now my first and horizontally.
Horizontally, it'll only be a handful of percent, but you're not measuring the
Vertically.
actual edge of the solar disk.
It's on
there.
screen. It's on screen.
On screen. Thanks for playing, bro. It's on screen.
It's on screen.
You're measuring vertical. What did I just
Oh, the
say?
bottom one's
What did I
horizontal.
just say?
And this one's horizontal.
Can't read.
Can you read?
Oh, okay. So you
Oh.
you rotated the image. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Thanks for playing, bud.
Thanks for playing. All right. Question, comments, concerns.
Let's
Good
do it.
Questions, comments, concerns. I think it's great to move into the Q&A at this point. So hopefully everybody had a chance to put up their screen and present their case tonight. You know, things can get a little bit chaotic sometimes, but that's how we do it at Modern Day Debate. We appreciate all of our speakers. And yeah, we are going to move into your questions in the audience now. So if you do have a question, put it in the old super chat. But for the most part, the biggest thing I could ask you guys right now, where there's so many people watching, would be to hit that like button and help boost us up in the algorithm. We really appreciate that as well. And yeah, just under 1,000 live viewers right now. So if you guys all smash that like button, that would be absolutely fantastic. Get us out there. And let's see. First question coming in from Geocentric. He says, or they say, I should say, I'm not sure, just their name is Geocentric. They say, Earth is flat and there are more lands beyond the southern 80th latitude. Wake up, ya donuts. Nathan's line. Okay, so they're quoting you, Nathan, and kind of doing more of a huzzah statement. But Earth is flat and there are more lands beyond the southern 80th latitude is the bulk of the question. Did you want to start on that one there, Peter?
That isn't a question.
Right.
Okay. You didn't. All right. I was just, I'm just putting it out there. If anybody wants to say anything,
Well,
Geocentric here.
the argument that I would always, okay, prove it, show me evidence, and all these two have done, Nathan and Angel, has been to look at optical effects and claim that they reflect geometry. That is the entire claim that they've made. We could have gone into sort of enormous detail about other data sets that preclude a flat Earth, but they refused to touch them. It's if you have evidence that the Earth is flat, present it. What these guys presented wasn't evidence that the Earth is flat. It didn't exclude the globe model. Nor did it do anything to advance the discussion.
All right, I think we could really get into the weeds because that's more of a broad analysis of our conversation tonight. So let's try to stick to the topic, even though I know some of these questions are going to be pretty pointed because we do have people that are going to send in super chats just to say huzzah and good job, so-and-so. So we do appreciate those too. But
Nathan's doing show and tell here too.
Yes, no worries over there. Holy Bible. All right. LJ says, how can, yeah, that was my little Dio shout out there. I can't help it. The metal lives in me. All right. LJ says, how can Earth be a ball when it is measured flat?
It's not measured
Isn't
flat. That's
measured flat.
misinformation.
Again, we can do we can measure the deviation of the normal as you travel across the globe. You can measure how much the normal changes. You can measure curvature in GPS signals as you sail a boat across the oceans. You can, there are infinitely many ways of demonstrating, the fact that seismic waves go around to the far side, come back multiple times. This was, again, another data set that these guys don't have any explanation for, haven't considered previously, and just ignore. There's no mechanism by which that can occur on a flat Earth. It's simply impossible. Therefore, the flat Earth is false. It has been falsified, again with the distance formula. Sorry, Peter, off you go.
It's only measured flat. Again, if you go back to my analogy of the dirty window or the clear window, it's only measured flat if you insist on looking through the dirty window. So stop doing that, and it's not measured flat.
In your example, Peter, did you use triangles?
Which one? What are you talking about?
Your examples showing the triangulation you did to the sun or whatever.
I think that was Tony.
Is that a triangle?
Was that Tony? I'm sorry.
I did show a trigonometric diagram to prove that by linear perspective, a receding sun should descend by an arctangent function. Yes.
So you assumed a flat baseline. You measured it flat. Thank you.
No, that's not. Well, actually, yes, that is correct, because my diagram was showing if it was a flat Earth. It doesn't do that in observation.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Next question.
Well, let's move into the next question for sure. And I got a question. Angel, is it an RG or an S series?
It's actually a Lexi Leo signature model.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an Ibanez. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Floyd Rose and everything. Nice. Love it.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Love it, yeah.
LJ, thank you so much for your question there. Has another one in a second, but Screwy Louie, being screwy in the super chat, says, to flat Earth, what's the highest you'll accept a rocket going before you call it fake?
Well, I've been to rocket launches. They're all parabolic. They take like 5 minutes to reach the apex, and then they start curving down towards the water, which is where they always do the launches, near the ocean. What goes up must come down. If you look at high altitude footage, the highest a civilian has ever been, 128,000 feet. And Neil deGrasse Tyson admits you don't see curvature at that altitude. So the only people anointed to see the grandiose curve of the Earth is the government that these globers worship and lick the boot of.
Yeah,
is Elon Musk a civilian?
Also, the horizon would be a flat circle even on the globe. So thanks for playing.
Well, there are multiple, not if there's land beyond the Antarctica, or it extends indefinitely, as some flat earthers claim. The other point that I would raise here is that there have been civilians who have gone into orbit. William Shatner, for instance, went higher than that. Also, I didn't interrupt you when you were answering.
One of the most famous of all time, bro.
Did I interrupt you when you were answering?
That's a whole nother debate there, guys. We can definitely revisit if we want to.
Moving on, next question.
No, we're gonna let Tony finish his thought. But yeah, that is a whole other debate.
So civilians have been up there. Also, I don't care what Neil deGrasse Tyson says. Neil deGrasse Tyson can be wrong. When he says that you can't see curvature from a certain height, he can be wrong about that. And in fact, demonstrably, he has been.
All right, last word.
So
for their side, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you guys have anything to comment here, what's the highest you'll accept a rocket going before you call it fake? I think you guys have answered that, but if you had any comments to make on what you just heard, you can put it in there.
Yep, that's also a Snoop Dogg fallacy. We don't need to get high to figure out what the shape of the Earth is. It should be curving in all directions from the floor. It's objectively not. Thanks for playing. Next question.
All right, LJ says, why doesn't Earth spin under a hovering helicopter?
Because
there's no Coriolis.
That is not Coriolis. You clearly don't understand what Coriolis is. Stop talking about it.
He does that as super chat on every debate, every single one.
Yes, every single one. The atmosphere rotates with the planet. And seriously, this argument. So what you're saying is that for the past 100 years around about, the greatest scientific minds on the planet have looked at a hovering helicopter and haven't worked out that means the Earth is stationary. So your physical insights are so fantastic that you can look at that and you can believe, okay, that means the Earth is stationary. But the greatest scientific minds on the planet can look at that and not reach the same conclusion because you're so much smarter than they are.
Okay,
Grow up.
When a hovering helicopter is right next to you, does it appear stationary relative to you?
Yes.
Great. So the Earth just looks stationary.
We are on the
example,
Earth. We are moving with the Earth.
That's not how you measure the motion of the Earth.
So
you know how you're on a plane. Does your seat seem stationary relative to you? Yes, it does, because you're moving with the fucking plane.
When
it's
the plane is
not
turning,
that complicated.
All right,
plane
Angel,
is
we gotta
turning.
move on, bro. We gotta move on. Shout out Mark Sargent in the chat. Everyone give Mark Sargent a follow. That guy's amazing.
Nathan, you're not running this show.
You guys are boring.
I was gonna say we do have other questions coming in, but yeah, I would appreciate.
Yeah, we're
Nathan,
babysitting kindergartners. Apparently,
I would appreciate it if we do have Angel, your own partner, trying to wrap up a point that we don't cut each other off. So, but yeah, we do have lots of questions, and you know, I think everybody has already stated their opinion on that, even during the debate. Very rare that happens, LJ. So you should just be bee's knees happy right now. All right. Geocentric says, "Rest in peace, Globe." Squash it, Nathan and Angel. So Geocentric is coming out to let you know that they appreciate what you guys are putting down. Krugstyle for $10, thank you for your super chat, says nav systems of low Earth orbit satellites are based on sphere Earth. How could global satellite communications function or even stay in orbit if their navigation is based off of incorrect value sets?
Great question. They couldn't.
So most of our communications come from underwater sea cables, like Tony said, and towers. So
Not true.
99%.
That's simply not true. I've been on a
okay.
GPS survey. I've been on a GPS survey in the highlands of New Guinea, where you can't get cell tower service, and indeed we didn't even have telephone communications. So, and GPS works there. I was there for a week obtaining GPS data. So GPS works where there are no cell towers. So this claim is gibbering nonsense.
Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, the Columbia Satellite Balloon Program, go look it up. From NASA, they purchased more helium than any organization on Earth. We're not denying you could send signals from the sky to the ground. You guys are saying that those metal boxes are in space. You're saying they're 9 meters wide and we can see them even though they're hundreds of miles away. You guys are saying that they're floating in a vacuum that violates natural law, or they're in the thermosphere, which is 4,000 degrees and wouldn't melt all the metals. Thanks for playing. Next question.
All completely false claims.
Was gibbering
and straw
nonsense
men.
from beginning. That was gibbering nonsense from beginning to end. The temperature of the thermosphere, the density of matter is not high enough to have that impact. The gas molecules are too widely spaced to melt metal. The low Earth satellites transit at about 7 kilometers a second. So you can't do that with a balloon. And we can follow these things we can follow satellite transits with telescopes. We can also directly observe geostationary satellites. We can take time lapses of them. They are stationary while the stars around them move. So the claim that satellites don't exist or they're not there, we can see them. We can observe them. We can bounce lasers off them. Well, the claim that they're balloons is obviously absurd. You can't get a balloon to the height you need for a geostationary. Shut up, Nathan. You're not the fucking moderator. How about you fuck off?
All right, let's let Angel respond.
You're saying you have a geostationary satellite over a spinning ball testicle in the sky that's going 66,000 miles an hour.
Yes.
Wow.
Why the random anatomical terminology, Angel?
So we can't
That's
have that.
so random.
So we can't have that on the stationary Earth with a stationary satellite. Are you serious? Are you joking?
Yes, you can't. What force is keeping the geostationary satellite up?
Jump on in here too.
They use electromagnetic tethers. Have you heard of that?
No, they don't.
No.
Wait, what?
Again.
What?
Nuh-uh.
Literally Google electrodynamic tethers. NASA admits they use the electrostatic potential in the air to propel upwards and downwards the same way spiders balloon. Next question.
Guys, they teach this stuff in high school.
This is
They
not the
teach this
debate
stuff
part.
in high
Can we
school.
wrap
Did
it
you
up?
not pay attention in high school physics?
It's gonna go forever. I don't have time for this.
All right, what is your time scale
Yeah,
right
move
now,
on.
there, Nathan?
I don't know. Another 30 minutes or so? How long? How many more questions we got? I want to get through every single question. I'll stay here for 3 hours and answer the questions, but I'm
Translation,
not
he wants to control the conversation.
All right, let's just try to carry on. And like I said, there is room for some back and forth. That's the whole point of the Q&A, is we want to unpack some things that may have not gotten covered in the debate. But yeah, like I said, if you got 30 minutes left, then I will try to keep it to 30 minutes. But we will get through the questions. LJ says, what's the proof of Jupiter's mass, size, and gravity?
Well, this is an inferential sequence of demonstrations. You can demonstrate its distance using several different techniques. But basically, the ratio between solar mass and Jupiter's mass and the influence that has on its orbital path. So yeah, and solar mass is inferred in a variety of ways.
The history of that goes back to Kepler. Just look up, Kepler's laws and things like that.
All right, any thoughts on the other side? No? All right, let's carry into the next question. Thank you so much, everybody, for your super chats so far. We appreciate it at Modern Day Debate. Yeah, definitely. Once again, everybody smash the like button. You want to. This is always a lot of fun. Let's just get scrolled back up here. There are quite a few questions. Don Keatic says, I love Modern Day Debate. Well, we love you too, random citizen. All right. That's great. All right. Kango44. Question for Nathan. Why does the Flat Earth app use the globe for the Friends Finder? It's use the Haver-Sign formula in the source code. I think there's a typo there.
Great question.
Breaking news, Globeheads. If you talk to Chat GPT, your globe was reverse engineered from a flat Earth. Go watch the video 7 Clubs posted about it on TikTok. Next
Not
question.
on topic, also wrong.
Also, we spoke to David Wise himself, and he said, yeah, he's going to use the globe coordinates that they spent billions of dollars on. What is he going to do?
No,
that by
the
himself?
Haver-Sign formula is not coordinates. You guys seem not to understand. It's using spherical trigonometry.
To place people on the
Yes,
Earth?
spherical trigonometry.
Yes,
Yeah,
to
he used
calculate
the
the
infrastructure.
distance between people, they use spherical trigonometry, because spherical trigonometry is always accurate, and you haven't demonstrated that it is ever inaccurate. And if it is accurate, if it is always accurate, then it demonstrates that Antarctica is only 3,000 kilometers across, in strict agreement with the propagation of earthquakes across it.
All right, well,
None of which you have
That bounce
refuted
off it.
or even commented on.
all right, last word for Angel and Nathan.
No, next question.
All right, excellent. Let's go on into it. Paradox says, Tony and Peter, if it was flat, would you believe it? Would you have been part of the largest Flat Earth Facebook group? Would you refrain from cussing?
What?
Well,
I don't know. I guess
will
cussing's a
believe-
big problem here, but yeah, go ahead.
I will believe anything for which there is convincing evidence. The
Yeah,
evidence
like my
available,
observations.
the evidence, you don't have any observational evidence. What you have is a misunderstanding of atmospheric effects and an inability to do basic logic.
So the Earth looks flat, but it's curved. Basic logic.
No, it doesn't look flat.
The Earth
The
does
sun
not
the
look-
sun goes below us.
Yes.
Ancient people
which
understood that.
can be so the sun goes below us, which can be confirmed by monitoring solar neutrinos that pass through the Earth. We can tell that there is atmosphere beneath us because atmospheric neutrinos pass through the Earth. And are detected by neutrino detectors at the surface. So you claim that it looks flat. It doesn't look flat. If it looked flat, we'd be able to see for donkey's yonks out into the distance, and we can't.
Oh.
So it's and distance formula, navigation techniques, the way angular elevations to celestial objects
we gotta put a
change
bow on
as you
this
move.
one.
None of this is consistent with a flat Earth.
All right.
It
let's
only
carry
looks
on.
flat if you squint through the dirty window.
No worries. Somebody in the live chat will be like, I hate when Ryan says put a bow on it. But no, I'm trying to find the best way to say, like, we got to move on. And I am sorry. But yeah, we got a lot of questions. And somebody.
It's his job.
Yeah, no worries. Alternate Keck says, to Flat Earth, we can recreate Flat Earth in a virtual environment. If the world was flat, you could see China from an extremely tall mountain.
Can't see the end of a road. You can't see China like halfway across the earth. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, Globers really need to learn how their eyes work. I had to read multiple times during this debate how we have atmospheric attenuation of light. It doesn't travel forever. There are certain things that cause that. Peter said everyone knows it, but apparently they don't. It would be oxygen, ozone, carbon dioxide.
There are specific ways that that looks.
Hold on.
The question wasn't for you guys. Can I finish?
Let him finish, and then you can respond. Go ahead, Nate.
Mr. Markey, bro. Got a bunch of triggered glove heads on panel. We cooked the donuts and they can't contain themselves. I'm sorry.
I'm not triggered.
So the very first chapter in this book is called Atmospheric Perspective, and it shows how things in the distance fade away. And that's not due to curvature. That's because the light is attenuated. So no, you would not see Everest or Mount Kilimanjaro from 4,000 miles away. Good job. Now we understand.
Except that's not how it looks. That's not how the
This
horizon
question was
looks
for
all
us.
the time.
Thank you. This question was for us. Can I just quickly share my screen to show why we can't see forever, just with perspective?
Sure thing. Let's share the screen. I'm so sorry if it takes a second, everybody, to transfer. Oh, it went quickly that time. All right, you're up and running.
Can you see the end of the road?
Again, that's a matter of resolution. That's not a matter.
So you can't see forever. Thanks for playing.
That's not true. And also the road is not the size of China, is it?
You changed your referee
China is
phrase.
several thousand kilometers across, isn't it? As opposed to a road which is not several thousand kilometers across. So the lack of logic in these arguments is staggering. What do you do for a living, sir?
Is China at the end of the road?
What do you do for a living, sir?
Let's move on.
China at the end of the road.
All right, we're going to carry on.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
I work for NASA in the CGI department. There you go.
All right. Well, yeah, no worries. Like usually with these, I don't say that you have to answer
It
personal questions.
actually requires a certain amount of intelligence to make CGI.
I'm a scuba diver on the ISS. Next question.
Fun. All right. LJ
Play with the
says,
bubble.
if you dig straight down, will you come out upside down?
No, because the direction of the gravity vector reverses as you pass through the center of the Earth. You pass to the other side of the center of mass.
But long before that, you will exhaust your technological techniques for digging farther because the rock density will get too high, and also it'll get too hot and it'll melt all of your steel and kill you.
Yeah.
Yet you guys know what's at the center of the Earth.
By inference.
We have observational data that tells us characteristics of the center of the Earth. Yes.
There are some mysteries or questions about it. There are certain frontiers of science about it, but that's not the same as being totally ignorant of something.
Were you checking the fake watch on your hand just now, Nathan? Is that what I just saw?
He's been playing mime the whole time.
No, it's fine. You know,
Gotta keep the audience entertained. Are you not entertained, guys? This is not what you're team for.
I have a smile. It's all good. Master Dirk says.
I think some people have a little more of an attention span than you do, Nathan.
No worries. Let's carry on, guys. Master, I thought I said Master Dick. My goodness. Master Dirk says, why is there a 6,200 mile distance from the North Pole to the equator and an equator of 24,901 miles? A flat Earth would have a distance from the North Pole to the equator of 4,000. What are the extra 2,200 miles from? It's a pretty long question, but let's try to get that one as much as we can.
Yeah, nobody has measured from the North Pole to the equator. Next question.
Yes, they have. That's just a lie. The definition of
the
definition of the
measurement.
I'm talking.
Can we see the measurement?
All right, to be fair, you did say
is based on 1/10,000 of the distance from the North Pole to the equator along the meridian passing through Paris. That's how the meter was originally defined. So to claim that it hasn't been done is a simple falsehood. Stop lying to the audience.
All right. Did you have anything to add there, Angel, or
No, I'm all good.
Close us out. All right. Let us move into the next one as well. Thank you so much to the super chatters here. We've gotten all kinds of super chats, and we are going to try to move through them. So yeah, let me just scroll up here and use my hand to do the thing. Come on now. Do the thing, computer. Flurfs. Okay, this is from Barbar Jinx. Barbar Jinx. That's a reversal. Flurfs, be real. Who hurt you and when you were younger. My God, what are you doing, Barbar Jinx? Do you need to talk about it? Do you need a hug? You know what? Everybody can use a hug every once in a while, Barbar Jinx, you know, don't be hating. All right, let's see here. Mr. Shonk says, along with the morons in the chat, this debate hurts to watch. I hope Peter and Tony win. Well, I don't know if people necessarily look at debates as in terms of winning and losing. Maybe some people do, but we just try to get the facts.
I think Nathan and Angel do.
Can we skip the insults one? Can we go to the questions? I got better things to do, bro.
All right. Well, I am going to read the questions that people have paid money to.
I find that very difficult to believe, sir.
All right. So MC Tune. Okay.
All right. No, Ryan, if you keep reading comments that are just insulting the flat earthers, I'm out, and I'll probably ask Angel.
They're kind of obligated, Nathan, if the person pays.
James used to say, I'm not reading comments that are insults. We're going to keep it cordial. And that's what he used to do, and I think we should keep doing that. I didn't know anything had changed, and if something changed,
except that you insulted us in the pre-debate email, so that's apparently.
I will be fair. Yeah, I do usually read all the super chats, but if they're just insults, you know, like, you know, you don't have to respond to them. But it is what it is in that sense, right? We do read the questions that are in the chat and also the super chats that are sometimes just saying, "Hey, good job, Nathan," or, you know, "Good job, Peter." So that's just how things are, you know, but.
All right, if you read another insult, I'm out. Just so you know, you can save those for later if you want.
Don't give me an ace up my sleeve. All right, so Roger and Ludwell, Angel and Nathan hit hard. Love from Flatsoid and Panel. So the next one is them saying, "Good job to you, Nathan," and that these fellas have been hit hard. So yeah, I'm reading them all.
What a badge of honor.
Okay. All right, next one. Kango44, adults think that flat surfaces can obscure objects from the bottom up. I hope the flat guys are just scamming and are not actually stupid. Did you have anything, Angel?
Some of them are. Take comfort.
Say to Kango, who has made comments before.
So that boat I've zoomed into, was it obscured by the horizon, or were we able to see it again?
It was not obscured by the horizon. It was de-resolved.
Stage obscured by the horizon.
I respond. The question was for the flat earthers, guys. Jim, can I get the big screen, please?
Oh, you want to share? Sure, you can share.
Thank you.
No worries.
So you can demonstrate this, guys. With the camera again, on a field. You just put the camera down on the ground and walk away from it. You don't see the bottom of the sketchers, and the buildings do the same thing. Also, don't trust me. Trust the experts here. Trust the science. They say it's the same as that of a lens. Atmospheric lensing and light bends downward. So this is why you can't see the bottom of buildings when they're really far away. They have hijacked atmospheric conditions. They've hijacked optics and perspective and told you that you live on a cartoon ball, go to work for 40 years and pay your taxes. Thanks for playing.
That's a self-report. You're the one hijacking.
All right, let's go.
Or Rob Skiba in this case, since you're just using his videos.
So as was pointed out, the camera is tilted upwards, which makes it possible to walk out. If the camera were vertical, you would still be able to see the sketches. So that demonstration is just fallacious.
Well, there's also the giant tuft of grass obscuring
yeah, there is.
If it was an actually flat surface, then maybe we'd see a lot more of the shoes.
Okay, let's ask the next one. Barbara Jinx says, Nathan, how many squares of toilet paper does it take to reach the moon? Oh my.
I don't know. I never actually tested that. You know who did test it was lying glurf heads, because you got to lie to glurf. They pretended to be Harvard students. They weren't. They pretended to be working with the travel channel. They weren't.
I mean, in all fairness, Nathan.
Let's let Nathan wrap up his point. 1 second.
Yeah, if I keep getting interrupted during the Q&A, the questions are for us, bro. Like, what's going on here, dude? Can the triggered globe donuts chill out? So they lied about being with the travel channel. They lied about being Harvard students. Then they flew me out on an all-expense paid vacation, and they folded toilet paper in front of me. So you need to ask your globe donuts why they're folding toilet paper to go to the moon. That's not my test. I don't think that happens. Thanks for playing.
In all fairness, they were wearing literal duck costumes, and something didn't seem wrong to you about that.
Nobody was wearing duck costumes when they were folding toilet paper. Go watch the video.
No, I know, but I'm saying so after
bizarre. Oh, the toilet paper. Who comes up with this? My goodness, you guys in the live chat. Yes, but I will warn you. Yeah, there's all kinds of huzzahs and screw yous coming up because
That was the Reckless Ben YouTube channel for the audience.
There's a lot of feelings in our Q&A, so don't mind our Q&A. Let's see. All flat earthers do is attack the globe. They almost never defend flat Earth. It's always attack the globe. That's from Mr. Shonk. Do you have anything to say to Mr. Shonk about?
Yeah, I showed direct observations of a flat Earth, and it said nah. So what? I can't.
You showed no such thing.
Any thoughts over
Do
there?
you want to see it again? Do you want to see it again?
No, I don't think that'll
saw it the
help
first
anything.
time, and it is not evidence. This is the fundamental disconnect here. You are presenting something that you think is evidence, and when people tell you that isn't evidence, that doesn't prove what you think it proves, you just refuse to listen to them.
No, you claim the horizon is a specific distance away. We see past.
No, I
We
never
never
claimed
claimed
that.
Oh, so the geometric horizon is not Earth's curvature now.
You
That's
don't
not what I
observe the
said.
geometric
You're-
horizon in the presence of an atmospheric field or an atmospheric
Question.
Atmospheric distortion.
yes.
Atmospheric optical effect. But you continually misrepresent what has been said to you, distort it as though it's some kind of gotcha. It's mendacious. It's utterly mendacious. And quite frankly, somebody who was arguing in good faith would not do that.
All right. So I do have these aren't necessarily insults, but I'm not sure exactly what is going on here. It seems like it's referencing an outside situation. I'm not sure, but these are over the threshold. So I'm gonna read them out, and you can decide whether you want to answer them or not. Jim Hardy says Nathan got this book from the same elementary school library where he was yelling at those kids at recess.
Oh.
Not sure what this is all about, but Nathan, if you want to just say no comment to Jim Hardy, we could just carry on.
I know what that's referencing,
Well,
roughly.
It doesn't sound like it's relevant.
No problem. I share truth with everyone. They're lying to the children. They steal them from their parents. They indoctrinate them for 8 hours, 5 days a week. Teach them lies. Teach them to deny reality. Teach them that they're cosmic accident. Teach them that their ancestors are mutating pond scum that work like Pokemon and they came from shape-shifting rodents. So yes, I care about all people. I was arrested for standing on a public sidewalk and announcing that large bodies of water don't curve. And if you guys don't see a problem with that in America, well, that sounds like a personal problem to me, dude. I'm completely cool with it. Lock me up, throw away the key. I'm going to keep telling everyone the earth is flat from the rooftop. Thanks for playing.
Except that large bodies of water are observed to curve because we can put a GPS receiver on a ship and we can watch it.
Bro. We got to move through the questions. We already debated this. The debate is over.
All right. So
then you don't get to, Nathan, you don't just get to lie and then have that lie entered into the record unopposed. So if you don't want me to comment on your replies, don't lie during them. That's my advice to you.
All right.
Says the guy who says nah.
Chase Hatchet.
We never said nah, Angel.
Hopefully this answers Chase Hatchet's question. They had said, guys, chill. It is perfectly normal behavior to yell at children randomly about your theory while they are at school. Perfectly normal. So Chase Hatchet, I think we've answered that question as far as that goes. It sounds like there's a lot of feelings in our live chat right now, though. So Kanko44 says, Angel, zoom back some wind turbines. Dishonest clown, they say. So they're not being overtly friendly, but they said zoom back some wind turbines. What's that about?
So wind turbines.
I have no idea.
Sorry.
But I have zoomed back a boat that wasn't visible. So
because of de-resolution.
Yeah, so it didn't go over.
Again, is angular resolution. It's got nothing to do with.
Great. So it didn't go over the curvature. Thank you.
No, it didn't.
It didn't. It didn't go over the. It didn't go over the curvature. So so you didn't prove the curvature.
So the horizon's not curvature.
The horizon is one determinate.
Oh, it is. So why was I able to zoom it back in then?
Because it wasn't over the horizon.
Never over the,
but now it's not. So now it's not
over the horizon.
So now it's not the curvature.
Just an idiotic.
Angel,
seriously,
I think you really understand more than you're letting on because you're just playing dumb on purpose.
It is the curvature. It is not the curvature. It is the curvature. It's not the curvature. Thank you.
No, you're just mixing scenarios.
Next question. No,
That
you
didn't
guys are.
that an argument didn't happen that you just pretended to relate.
All right, we have bounced this one, so
I am
let's carry
rubber,
on.
you are glue school of debating is, it is out of date by the time most people get out of primary school, mate.
All right, we are
Grow the fuck up.
We're gonna move on there, Tony. All right,
so triggered.
Let's carry on. Mr. Shank says, oh, we already read that one. Sorry. MC Toon Live says Nathan is so soft. He's scared to face me on modern day debate. Oh, he's trying to call you out there, Nathan. I don't know if you want to say anything to MC Toon. If you want to just carry on.
I've cooked that donut on modern day debate. You guys can go watch.
I was gonna say.
Talking about, I don't recycle these globe donuts. They are in denial. The definition of the word insane is the inability to perceive reality. The definition of a delusional disorder is someone who cannot tell what's imaginary from what is real. So when someone is insane and they have a delusional disorder, I share the truth with them and then I move on. You can pay me $200 for my time, and then I'll show up for your stupid debate and stomp out your globe. Thanks for playing.
See, this is the danger, MC Toon, of making a super chat coming right at somebody, because you can't respond in real time. So, all right.
I mean, I think it was a self-report on Nathan's part, but whatever.
No worries. All right. So I had a poll up earlier, and I'll just let you know where our audience is sitting. So right now, I put the Earth is 24 have voted flat. 63% have voted globe, and then 13% have voted a bag of bread. So those are the either undecided or they're not here to play by the rules. Okay.
It's sad that you're not taking this seriously, host. It's really sad.
Me? I am taking it very seriously. I want, like I say, to know who is here in our audience who is not actually participating in the
Nathan,
discussion.
I don't think you take it seriously. What are you getting all?
All right.
Hey,
Talk about the sun, bro. Trying to prove the Earth is a globe. You're only arguing with the sun.
Did you guys think you won that debate?
I'm not going to answer that.
Yes.
Yeah, thought so.
I'm not going to.
Because obviously we. Okay.
All right.
Preschoolers again.
Let's try to carry on.
Preschoolers.
MC Toon.
We're just babysitting.
Saying another very similar comment says Nate is so soft, clouds use him as a security blanket. All right, thank you, MC Toon. Oh my. And Mr. Shank says they have to pay $500K to $3 million for a single kilometer of cable over thousands of kilometers. It would be far cheaper to put satellites over us. Any thoughts on the other side? No, this one's for Angel
bandwidth
and Nathan, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
no, I think that's an argument against. I think that's an argument against the submarine cable length.
Oh, okay. So
I
yeah,
think
go
they're
ahead.
trying to argue. The problem is bandwidth, and the problem is that you can over congest orbital trajectories. You can argue with the companies that do it that it isn't economic, that it doesn't make economic sense. I'm pretty sure that they've crunched the numbers and come to a different conclusion than you have.
Any thoughts on the other side, or do you want to? Peter, did you have a thought there? Yeah.
I was just sort of waiting for an opportunity to ask for myself to insert a question for Nathan. I don't know if that's kosher or not. I didn't want to lose the opportunity.
No, this is for the audience, dude.
Yeah, let's carry on with the audience questions for sure. Like I say, sometimes it's just natural part of the discussion, but if it's something that's already come and gone, sorry, that moment may have escaped us. Gene Techman says there is no 8-inch per mile squared curve to Earth. So it's more of a declaration. Super chat, but
8 inches per mile squared are not the units of curvature. The units of curvature is radians per kilometer, or 1/r. If you're looking at that, it's so you're not even looking in the right units. You don't know what you're supposed to be looking at. Curvature. The 8 inches per mile squared does not refer to, it refers to an effective curvature, but it is not in and of itself curvature.
Yeah, I've asked our PhDs, does the parabola have less curve than a semicircle? And they say yes. So in other words, the real formula for Earth curvature has more curve than 8 inches per mile squared. Thanks for playing.
No, it doesn't. And also, whoever told you that parabolas have more curvature than circles was wrong.
Less curvature. So yeah, exactly.
Well, Either
well,
statement is wrong. To say that they have less curvature is also wrong. To say that they have so you can construct it. You can given a particular circle, I can construct a parabola that has more curvature. Given a particular given a particular parabola, I can construct a circle that has more curvature. The question is ill posed, but the curvature that we observe, the fact that the angular elevation of celestial objects changes at a fixed rate per unit of distance is curvature. That is exactly what curvature represents, the change in orientation of the normal vector per unit distance. So 1 degree per 69 miles or 1 degree per 111 kilometers, that is the definition of curvature.
We do need to. Okay, I was going to say, I don't want to cut you off when you're right in the middle, but I mean, yeah, we do have to either let people have a chance to respond, or like I said, we got to move on, and that's what we're going to do. We are asking super chats right now, and they keep on coming, and they keep on coming. So I do have 5 minutes left on the floor there, Nathan. If you do have to step out, it's not the worst thing ever, but if you can stay, we appreciate it. That would be awesome because we have lots of questions for you.
Just one side. The questions are just for one side. So if it's for them, they get to answer. If it's for us, we get to answer, and then we just move through it.
Yeah, we can do that. We do that all the time when people, are getting short on time. So let's keep to the side for the questions. Kango44 says, Nathan, you mock and laugh a lot, but I don't remember PhD Tony or Peter dressed in a duck suit and trying to stack toilet paper to the moon. This keeps coming up. Do you have anything to say? Yeah, I was just say I don't know if you want to respond to Kango44. Sounds like it's outside.
Just trying to insult.
It sounds like it's outside of what we're talking about tonight, though. But yeah, take it for what it is. There, Kango44. Randomly epic. So this is a $20 super chat. So we're going to try to entertain as much of this as we can. Tony is too smart for this debate. It's like trying to discuss astrophysics with a toddler who's busy drawing a stick figure on a wall with a piece of poo. Oh, it's very high class too. What do we do with this, guys? What do we even do with this?
Well, it is staggering to me that the inability to form basic syllogisms is so apparent in my opponent's arguments.
All right.
They simply cannot construct logic.
Okay.
Anyway,
before we just get into more mudslinging, the audience has enough to say, I think. So, MC Toon Live coming in with his constructive criticisms. Nate is so soft, he puts caffeinated squirrels to sleep. Does he have something against moisturizer? Like, is he just like a really flaky? I don't know.
I don't know, but he did say that he wanted to get. He did say that he wanted to get in a hot tub with me if there's no 24-hour sun in December. I didn't agree.
He didn't say he wanted to. Do not lie. Do not lie, Nathan. He did not say he wanted to. That's incorrect.
Oh, he said he would. I don't know. I never agreed to that.
That's because somebody dared him. Okay? Just tell it right.
So he did say it.
Oh, he did say it. All right,
he
cool.
conceded to a dare.
So he did say it.
Next question.
Roger Ledwell says, Angel, pitch data and pitch data. You see how I read that two different ways? I don't know. I think that's what they're probably trying to convey here. I don't know.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, I don't know if we got too much there. We can dig into Roger, but thank you. We have so many questions, so we are going to try to just move through here. Master Dirk says, a geocentric Earth would still be a globe, Nathan. So right quick, if we can respond to that.
Yeah, no problem. I got no problem with that. Show me the curve. But you can't show me the curve. Large bodies of water don't curve. 70% of the Earth is perfectly flat and level. Thanks for playing. Next question.
Sting fellow.
That was a lie.
Hold on, we're not responding from the other side for now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we're just going to keep it on the one side. Sting fellow Hawk says, Angel and Nathan, can you explain how the sun sets on flat Earth? And Nathan, be a man and debate MC Toon. Quit running. I think you've already established that you did debate him, so if you want to go back through our history, I think you can find it actually here on Modern Day Debate. But let's stick to the topic. Can you explain how the sun sets on a flat Earth?
Yeah, sure. A green flash only works on a flat Earth. I can get into that later. You can go watch my videos if you guys need. But also, it shrinks in angular size, which would only work on a flat Earth. Crepuscular rays converge to a point above the clouds. The only way to demonstrate that is with a local light obstruction and particulates in the air. And also, if you look at the UV light index, all the UV light is focused in between the tropics. So it disappears because it moves away from you. And that's why you can't see it anymore. Thanks for playing.
All right. Any thoughts over there, Angel, as well on the sunset on the flat?
It's pretty simple. If something moves far away from you, when it's overhead, it'll appear to dip to the horizon. Like airplanes do that. So.
All right, Master Dirk says the heli is subject to local winds. More flat Earth lies.
Oh, but not Coriolis. Wind is not Coriolis. Thanks for playing. Next question.
You guys got to stop saying thanks for playing. It's really obnoxious.
Okay, well, before we do any of that, I do want to give Angel
Let
a
them
chance to
make
respond
themselves
too.
look
So,
like clowns.
well, the only reason I would say just before you end it off there, I do want to make sure Angel gets to say as well. So, did you have anything to add, Angel?
Yeah, our opponents should stop crying.
Okay.
I haven't shed a single tear this whole time.
All right. Well,
Says the guy who lost the debate.
I swear we'll have to get those modern day debate handkerchiefs ready for all the tears that we get on this show. No, I'm kidding. All right, Chase Hatchet. Math is hard, huh, fellas? Well, Chase, I don't know what your math skills are. I'm pretty bad at math, honestly. Now I am. I was good when I was a kid. Now I'm just awful. But yeah, it's not too much here to engage with. I'm giving you as much as I think you deserve for that one, Chase. So let's carry on. Kango44, Nathan got a new script. You have been doing this for years. In that time, you could... No, oh, sorry, Nathan get a new script. Okay. You have been doing this for years. In that time, you could have actually learned something. Kango44 really likes... excuse me, coming right at you, Nathan. Did you want to say anything to Kango44? Just carry on.
I do. They're obsessed with me. I got quite a few pet Globers out there. I really appreciate it. Here's a treat, a virtual treat for you guys. But the problem is, I tested it. Large bodies of water on curve. I don't need another argument to debunk the globe religion. I'll keep saying the same thing until you guys figure it out. Next question.
All right. MC Toon Live says, poll. Who is more scared of Toon? 1, Nate, 2, Sergeant. Oh, you would make me say this out loud. You're something else. Kai Sun Ra says, have you quantified the change in the sun's angular size while using a solar filter? If you can show that right now, I will become a flat earther.
Okay. All right. No worries. I'll share my screen.
All right. Yep. Kai Sun Ra, Angel has you here. He's confident that he's going to be able to show you exactly that. So let's reset our timer. I'm going to put another 30 seconds on the clock for another round of Q&A, but we're going to let Angel have the screen share here. It's ready when you are.
I got it ready, Angel, if you're not ready.
No, I've got it. It's all good. 1 second.
I got a different one, too, if we could go right after Angel.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
nail that one home, because he's going to be a flat earther after we show him this. So thanks for
Another sunset time lapse with the ND 1 million and with the exposure settings down on the camera. The sunset was stopped about 15 minutes before the sun actually intersected the horizon. And as you can see, I still got a significant change in size. Here's the before and after comparison of my first time lapse, and I'm going to play it for you right now.
By patients.
Sorry.
This is the second one. There you go. So now my first time lapse had a 23. Welcome to Flat Earth.
How did you control for lens distortion?
Lens distortion?
So different portions of the lens will show things at different angular resolutions, right? Unless your lens is perfect, right?
All right.
So any variations,
This is for us. Hang on.
What are you talking?
We'll let one rebuttal go through just so Angel can answer the question. So if you want to answer what PhD was putting down there, Angel, to you, then...
So the Globers ask us to use solar filters to record a change in size. We do that, and then they want to still complain.
You didn't use it right. You still didn't get the actual angular size of the disc.
All right, we're not going to do further rebuttal here, so I'll ask you to end the screen share there if you're all done, and we'll carry into the next question.
Will, can I show mine real quick? I got another one.
He wants to show his. He's going to show mine.
You just saw one.
No, I'm joking.
I'm going to show another one because he said he's going to be a flat earther if he sees one. So I just want to show him two to make sure he's going to be a flat earther now. Make sure you tell your friends and family.
Except that wasn't a demonstration of angular size.
All right, I'll let Nathan share his screen and entertain this a little bit longer.
And I'll let desperate for converts.
We'll do one.
Hold on.
We'll do one rebuttal. Okay, so Nathan, you can share your screen, and then you guys plan that rebuttal carefully because we're only going to do one. So, are you all done with your? Oh, this is Nathan's screen. Sorry, go ahead, Nathan.
Yes, sir. I'll ask you, host. Can you see this sun on the left?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right, great. And then it shrinks when you finish the film. This is all a time lapse. I know we don't have time to watch the entire video, but I'll scroll through. It is a time lapse. There's a solar filter on the entire time, and it shrinks significantly in angular size. It actually disappears above the horizon. So next question.
It's not good enough to just slap a solar filter over. You have to actually control for exposure in a photographically correct way. It was obviously overexposed. I could tell by glancing.
No, my first video I showed you, I put the exposure down on the camera.
It doesn't matter. It was still overexposed.
It doesn't matter.
From start to finish, it was the same exposure. So not nice, nutter.
I could see.
We're done. We're done with the rebuttals, guys. I'm so sorry.
His point is that it shouldn't be the same exposure.
All right, we're gonna carry on. I'm so sorry. I know you want to respond, but yeah, we are gonna try to keep it really to the one side. And if we do have anything to respond with, if we do have anything we want to respond with, let's try to keep it really, really short. Okay? Like I don't mind if you want to just jump in and you got like a quick thought to just try to push the conversation along, but if it's like you want to make a full broad point, then we are going to be here for a while. So let's carry into the next one. No one is impressed by the guitar, bro, says Chase Hatchet. I like the guitar, Chase. What's your deal? Come on, be cool. Guitars are awesome. All right.
I think Nathan and Angel make a lot of enemies.
Free Palestine. North to south circumnavigation. Final experiment.
Yeah, they haven't done it yet. We'll talk in December. We already debunked your globe. It's already been put to rest. RIP.
Yeah, and they already faked it twice. So
they didn't. They faked it 0 times. 0 times.
No, they faked it twice. We caught them out.
Next question.
All right, MC Toon says, Ryan, a question for me. This ought to be great. If Sargent grew a pair, would you host the debate? I'm not sure who Sargent is, but yeah,
would be Mark Sargent.
I'll host any debate, majoritively. There's a few things I won't do, but as for hosting debates, like I said, if there's bad ideas out there, I want this to be a whack-a-mole. I want those bad ideas out there, and I want to. Anyway, let's carry into the next question there. Chase Hatchet says someone has never seen the Starlink satellites.
Oh wow, lights in the sky appears we're on a globe.
The fact you can even see them debunks the distance they're at. So thanks for that.
Yeah, they're only 3 meters wide, and they're claimed to be 300 miles up. If you think you can see the size of a minivan 300 miles away, well, I got news for you. You can't. Next question.
All right, good enough.
That was just untrue.
No rebuttal. I know it takes me a second sometimes to scroll the next question, but let's just try to keep it.
How many times do you say nah, dude?
Sad.
How many times do you guys lie?
Okay.
We didn't lie. You can look this up for yourself.
Oh my goodness, I know you did, but what am I? All right, free Palestine. The Greeks knew Earth is flat and stationary. This is not going to go well. The Antikythera mechanism is based on a non-rotating flat Earth in the center of the whole universe. The globe model is pseudoscience, globe diarrhea, avoid a COVID-idiot. I can't say the last word because YouTube will get us in trouble. But you know where they were going. I think everybody knows.
Absolutely untrue. The Antikythera mechanism is not based on. All it does is measure cycles, and some fairly simple calculations from cycles, which it measures out using gears. There's been a reconstruction of it, and there's no suggestion from the people who reconstructed it that it only works on a flat Earth. That's just a false narrative.
All right. Any thoughts over there, Peter? Or do you want to tag on to that? Or
it's historically and scientifically notable just because of how old the thing is, but it's not really relevant to this debate. So what Tony said.
All right, let's carry in to the next chat. Chelsea Watkins says, if we have no physical effect from Coriolis, how does it determine hurricane spin direction? Electromagnetic induction is much better explanation.
That's absolutely untrue. For instance, if you're in the northern hemisphere and you're on the high pressure side of a wind, you will observe that the wind does not just flow directly from a high pressure system towards the low pressure system. It actually flows to the right when you're in the northern hemisphere and to the left when you're in the southern hemisphere. That is because as the wind moves, it goes to the right. Coriolis is also observed in ocean gyres, the way ocean gyres move, and western boundary current intensification. The evidence for Coriolis is literally overwhelming. There is you can do the calculations, you can do the observations. There is no question, and it's certainly not due to any sort of electromagnetic effect. That's nonsense. Earth's electromagnetic field varies, whereas these right-hand deflections and left-hand deflections in the northern and southern hemispheres are constants. So that breaks the correlation right there.
All right, let's go to the next one. Free asks, why has no one showed Nathan any proof of gravity? So this is kind of like a backwards way of asking the question. Why has no one showed Nathan any proof of gravity? It's kind of like a...
That wasn't the topic of this debate.
Commentary on
if
what
Nathan
people have done for
wants to
Nathan.
debate
But go
gravity.
ahead, Nathan, if you want to.
Well, that's not Nathan's question.
I suppose not. I mean, it's very weirdly... it's asking about
Also,
Nathan's experience, but go
proof
ahead.
of gravity.
I mean, it is, if you want to present
Well,
Proof of gravity.
So,
What about a helium balloon? What about a helium balloon?
again,
Peter?
Unsupported objects fall. This is and a balloon is not an unsupported object. It's supported by the atmosphere. Take the atmosphere away, it falls. We can use gravimeters. We can measure the force of gravity in multiple different ways. We can measure it by dropping an object in a vacuum. We can measure it using clouds of Bose-Einstein condensate. We can measure it using the superconducting gravimeters. There are a lot of different styles of gravity measurement that we have available to us. That Nathan is unaware of them and doesn't know what they are is basically the result of simply not researching the matter with any seriousness.
Says the guy who thinks gravity is a force.
It is a force.
Gravity can certainly be treated as a force, quite accurately.
Let's carry into the next question with that one rebuttal there. I think that was great. Elgato says, how does Flat Earth model explain gravitational differences on Earth?
But no, ask Tony. We don't believe in gravity.
Well, to explain what that question to explain what that question refers to, gravitational acceleration.
Can I answer that question? Yeah, because the question was for us, and we got to keep it moving, bro. It's like,
well, Angel just referred the question to me, so
please don't do that again, Angel.
All good.
Okay. So
this is your fault,
explain the question. To explain the question a little more detail, the gravitational acceleration on Earth varies with position and to some extent over time in response to tidal and mass redistribution. This is observed and measured. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, so we get questions from Glovers like, why does everything fall at 9.8 meters per second inside a vacuum? And then we got questions from Glovers like, why does gravity change on Earth and it's different? And we're like, okay, well, if everything falls at 9.8 meters per second, regardless of their mass, then the causal mechanism, mass, has nothing to do with the rate of fall. We can take electrostatics, levitate things, make them rise, make them fall. We can take magnets, make them levitate. We can heat things up, make them levitate. Look into the Hutchinson effect. He not only levitated things, but was gellifying and like turning solids into liquids using frequency. There's also acoustic levitation. So there's a lot of things taking place. Glovers just call it gravity because they love their gravity religion, and hasn't been scientifically validated. Even in the mainstream, go watch the podcast with Jenna Levin on Star Talk. I'm almost done. And the question was for us, and we're trying to keep it one side for the questions.
Then don't lie, sir.
All right, next question.
All right, everybody. I think we've already established that you think he's lying, he thinks you're lying. Everybody thinks everybody's lying here. All right, so let's
just to put this in perspective,
I've
been studying Earth's gravitational field for 30 years.
I understand. No, I do understand that. I'm just making an analysis of the fact that everybody is going to say that, but there are lots of questions. Let's just carry on. I won't do any meta-analysis myself either. Majestic Bison says, hi Nathan and Angel, do flat earthers think that gravity exists, and if not, do they have another force that takes its place?
No, they invented gravity in 1666. Pay attention to that 666. It pops up like 100 times in the globe religion. Also, they changed it. Can you mute up while we're talking, bro? It's one side.
No, because I like laughing when you say stupid things.
All right, just 1 second, please. There.
You can Google that if you don't believe it.
It's. I wasn't saying that he was wrong
Why
about
is
the
he
date.
talking right now, host?
All right.
Why is he talking?
Lots of people are talking, like I say, during the Q&A. But did you wrap up your point there, Nathan? You want to carry on?
Next question, bro. This is ridiculous.
Let's see. Nugs Ammunition. Oh, Nugs Ammunition. This will be good. All right. Will you host a debate if Dave Weiss is a potato or not? A lot of us don't know. Oh, you're so... These are some objective ones. Potato, boil them, mash them, stick them up
Bro, I already texted James about this, Ryan, just so you know. So if you like your job, you should do a better job.
I'm not threatened at all. Krugstyle, all Flurf arguments boil down
Wow.
to I don't trust the government or real science. Can you make an argument with an appeal to a conspiracy?
Is that for us?
You
Large
want-
bodies of water don't hurt fluid statics? You ever heard of fluid statics? That's real. It's not a conspiracy. Next question.
Did you have any thoughts over there, Angel?
Not really. I mean, yeah, fluid statics is a good one, but like even half the sea floor is abyssal plains, so flat. So I don't know how that works on a globe.
All right. Next one. The Wicker Man. Nathan is... that's just straight up.
Thank you, Ryan. Oh, we're learning. We're learning. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. I'm capable. Did you know that? It's amazing.
Earlier,
right?
Nathan, you said I was triggered.
Extremely. Oh my goodness. Now let's.
I got better things to do than be interrupted and be called a liar 1,000 times during a debate. Let's keep it moving.
All right.
Then
All right.
don't lie. It's simple, mate.
Either way, once I hit that point, like, don't condescend to me, because like I said, once I hit that point, it's like I get tipped and there's no coming back. All right. So the Wicker Man had said Nathan is a has-been. He should give it up. Not very polite, but we're gonna carry on. Chase Hatchett. Nathan threatening us with a good time. I'm not sure what that is in reference to, but let's carry on. Jiffy
That's him
Jiffwald.
threatening to leave.
Okay. I'm not sure, but let's carry on. Jiffy Jiffwald, for both sides, using your model succinctly, explain solar and or lunar eclipses.
Yeah, of course. Lunar eclipses are shadows, and they're not shadows. They're glowing red. They're predicted by the Soros cycle for thousands of years. You can go ask NASA employee Fred Espenak. He's the one who predicts the eclipses based on a geocentric model. His ephemerides for the planets, we have the 12-year geocentric ephemerides for those, the sun and the moon. And yeah, you actually have a 3-body problem where you can't predict eclipses on the heliocentric model. I call it the 6 silver platter video game, where you give them 6 assumptions: spin, curve.
Tony's
spin,
going to tell you you're
activate,
lying
orbit.
again in a second, because you are.
Tony's not even there, and you're interrupting me again.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
Next question.
Also, the Salanellian eclipse doesn't work on a globe. They claim refraction, but shadows don't refract. So thanks for playing.
Salanellian eclipse.
That's wrong. Also.
Cool story.
Basically, every time you guys open your mouth about the heliocentric model, it's a lie. Whatever you say in that.
All right. So
what's the answer for the Salanellian eclipse?
It does refract.
Do shadows refract?
Yes, they do.
That would be the refraction of light, bud.
Yeah, shadows are the absence of light, which means that the shape created by the light or the absence thereof all refracts. It all refracts because it's all based on light.
We gotta
Shadows
keep them
refract.
moving.
Wow.
Yes, they do.
Question was for us. We gotta keep this moving, bro.
Well, yeah, this was for both sides. But yes, we'll carry on. Aerith Kaintal, I'm not sure. Nathan is salty. He's getting a taste of his own medicine. Let's just carry on. Jiffy Jiffwald, another one just says, quit being a baby, Nathan. Jiffy, we get it. You're upset with Nathan. Max V says, so Nathan, you get to insult everyone constantly, but then get offended by the comments on the chat. Why is that? This question's not an insult. Thanks for playing.
If we had $1 for every time the audience says Nathan,
Yeah, we'd probably have we'd probably have $10 by now, I swear. All right, yeah, that's right. Anyway, Jiffy Jiffwolf, for both sides, explain tides on your model.
yeah, how do you explain the high tide on the other side of the Earth during a new moon?
It's
because that's because the gravitational attraction there is weaker, so not as much mass is pulled away. It's a well-known feature of the gradient of the gravitational field. So also I will point out that there are not only tides in water, but there are tides in the atmosphere and there are tides in the solid Earth. So whatever explanation you're about to proffer for that, you need to explain both of those tides.
It's a non sequitur to the shape of the Earth. Let's keep going.
Oh, well, they do want an explanation from the speakers on the panel how it would work.
Somebody just spent money to ask a super chat, Nathan.
Well,
we haven't been.
1 second. So let's go ahead, Angel, if you want to answer the question.
We haven't been to the North Pole, but I believe there's something there that could be causing tides. Like the Mercator map described a vortex in the north that causes tides. So.
Okay. Yeah. Did you have anything to add there, Peter, or do you want to carry on?
No, go ahead.
All right, no, Nathan's ready to carry on, so let's carry into the next one. Randomly epic. I'm not sure if this is a compliment or an insult. It says, Nathan wears Skechers. I bet Tony wears New Balance. I don't know shoes, so sorry, randomly epic. Maybe that one falls flat. I don't know if that's a haha, but let's carry into it. Kat Roke says, I'm curious if there are any pilots, ship captains, or any college degree holders in physics or science that would agree or side with flat earthers. No? All right. Not ready for that one? No, not feeling it? All right. Chase Hatchet says, curious if flurfers know what surface tension is. So do you want to take a moment for that one?
Yeah, we'll take a moment. Surface tension is not Earth curvature. Angel, you got anything to add, or are we moving on?
No, I'm well.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Moonchild17.
That wasn't an answer to the question.
All right, well, we'll let that play out in the sphere of the public eye. Moonchild says, Nathan, how exactly do electrodynamic tethers make satellites work? And what is on the other end of the tethers?
I don't know. I don't make the tethers, but you can Google electrodynamic tethers. They use electrostatic potential in the air. It's the same thing that spiders do when they balloon. They release a little bit of their web, and then they harness electrostatic potential or the ether that's in the air. Could give us free energy, but they want you at the pump every 3 days. They want you paying an electric bill every 30 days. And these guys want to carry water for the man. Next question.
All right, you got it. And once again, I'll just say thank you to everybody for your super chats. We do appreciate the support for the channel. We do try to say keep it as friendly as you can, but yeah, unless it's actual hate speech, we do read pretty much everything. So Ryan Hesterman says, just curious why the sad man can whine about people saying things about him, yet he called MC2 names. Why is that okay, flatmate? Yeah, want to carry on, not too much to engage with there. So you guys get how this is going to go. Nathan's not entertaining your fire, if you will. Gravity says, island guy seen curvature and saved 25 orphans from a burning high-rise.
What?
Oh, he's
Let's keep it moving, guys. We got to keep it moving.
No, hold on. If you know what this
Shut
is about,
the fuck up, Nathan.
Okay, wait. Hold on, guys. Just
whoa, Tony,
you know
have some more fluoride water.
Do you know what this is about? Gravity paid $5 for a soup chat. Yes. Do you know what this is referring to?
So yes, the claim here is what he's saying is gravity is basically a superhero. That gravity is sort of a made-up fictional thing that does that achieves all these miraculous objectives. Therefore, the question is for me. Therefore, I'm allowed to answer it, right, Nathan? Without interruption. So, no, we can prove gravity. Nathan's claims to the contrary are nonsense. We can detect the gravitational signal of underground deposits. We can use gravitational measurements to detect whether or not submarines are about to run into underwater mountains. We have demonstrated that mass at a distance can be detected using gravimeters. So we have scientifically demonstrated that gravity exists and has the properties that Newton and Einstein, after him, suggest. The denial of simple scientific reality is delusional. It's nothing short of it.
All right. Yeah, let me just look at this. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's all we're gonna get out of that one. Matthew Menek says the Earth is a paper flat hollow projection that rides on a giant turtle shell. Please show proofs I'm wrong, flat earthers.
Yeah. Is this all we got for the Q&A?
We got lots of other questions, actually. We're getting down on it, so we'll carry into the next one. Sorry, it doesn't look like the side of the planet.
Not much substance from the globe side, that's for sure.
There was.
It's proportional to the evidence that you presented.
All right. Roger Ledwell says pitch data was my resense to Oakley's latest proof. I'm not sure what this word's supposed to mean. It is a typo. Pitch data was my response to Oakley's latest proof. I think that's what they meant.
Can't count on
Yeah.
Glover. Super chats, you know. It's asking too much for Glover, bro. So, next.
Roger Ledwell says, in reference. Okay, thank you. In reference to Oakley's latest proof. Pitch data was in reference to Oakley's latest proof. Okay, thank you for putting in a clarification super chat. Oh my, I love it when I scroll around and see that. That helps a lot. Jiffy Jiffwald says, if Earth were flat, reciprocal zenith angles would not exist. Curve has been measured and seen. Game over. You lose. Flat Earth was dead to begin with.
Thanks for playing.
All right, so let's try to engage with the question. If Earth were flat, reciprocal zenith or zenith angles would not exist.
Things get shorter in the distance. So
also, you have atmospheric.
So that
It's questions for us.
The question is for them. So Nathan, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have atmospheric conditions. They can rise or lower things in the distance. You can have superior and inferior mirages. So looking at the horizon and saying it's slightly higher or slightly less is not proving the Earth is concave. It doesn't prove the Earth is a ball. Land surveyors assume the Earth is flat for 100 square miles, disregarding curvature and treating the Earth as a flat plane when they do their job. If they move outside of that 100 square miles,
more lies.
The Earth is flat. So every time we talk, we're just going to get called liars in the middle of us talking.
It's when you lie, Nathan. It's when you lie.
Dude, you can look up this information yourself.
Yes, I can, and I have. I've talked to surveyors.
Last
You
word to
guys are
Angel.
just lying about
sorry,
it.
Peter. I'm just going to place you on a little mute there, Peter. I'm sorry. I don't like doing that.
It's
you know.
too triggered, dude.
But we do have to try to keep it moving along. Chase
Real
Hatchet.
quick, if I could, Ryan,
Sure
this says plane surveying is a method of measuring the Earth's surface and assumes the Earth is a flat plane and disregards curvature.
So who's lying now, Peter?
This is a simple.
Why lie for, Peter?
Thanks
Nathan
for
is lying because we weren't talking about plane surveying.
Yes, what? Why'd you lie, Peter, about plane surveying ignoring curvature? Yeah, I thought so.
Reciprocal zenith angles. Reciprocal zenith angles demonstrate deviations to normal.
To be fair, if you ask a why and leave it open, it's like I say, you're asking the question. You're putting it out
you
there.
can't.
It's not pathetical.
Yeah, so reciprocal zenith angles are a perfect demonstration of exactly what I was talking about before, which is change in angle of the normal to Earth's surface. The reciprocal zenith and the claim
we got it.
The claim that it is due. Can you mute him?
Well, let's see if
He's not talking.
If you can wrap that your response to his question in 5 seconds or less, or like if we could just try to move it.
Reciprocal zenith angles show that the normal is moving. They cannot be due to refraction effects. In fact, they are used to remove refraction effects by surveyors.
Last word for Angel and Nathan, or do you want to carry on?
Keep going, please.
Let's keep going then. All right. Chase Hatchet, it called the circle of confusion in photography. Not sure what he's referencing. Sometimes they come in the moment. So Kai-san Ra says, nice try. You didn't. So Kai-san Ra was the one that said that they would convert if you showed them the information there. Kai Sunra says, nice try. You didn't quantify the change. I'm still a glober.
23% it changed. So my that I got. So with counter pixels, so
yeah, it's all right.
We're not going to finish that one up, or all right.
We got all
counting pixels is not good quantification.
All right.
Also, it was bad photography because it was overexposed.
Next question.
All right. Mass Amendment Auditor says, the speed of light, we know the speed of light. Thus, we know how long light takes to get to us. Thus, we know the sun's not local. Thanks for playing. Oh my goodness, this is going to be an ongoing theme. We're all going to be saying it before this is over.
There's a lot of we in there. So one thing you'll notice is Glovers have a tendency to invoke French. It's part of their doublespeak. So they say we landed on the moon and we proved gravity, but you haven't really shown evidence. I've never seen that evidence, and doesn't conclusively prove the Earth is a globe.
All right.
Speed of light assumed.
Yeah.
I think you know that's not French, Nathan.
They have a two-way speed of light. They've never measured the one-way speed of light. So next question.
All right. Old Lion says research flat Earth on TT. It's from
That guy's a legend.
Techibus. And then Techibus comes in for another one and wants to reinforce. Old Lion says research flat Earth on TT. So that is a...
Look me up there. I've got stuff there.
All right. Well, let's, yeah. Well, we do have all of our speakers linked in the description. That's a good reminder there. I will remind everybody watching right now, if you enjoy what you're hearing from any of our speakers, you can find them at the links in our description. We try to tag all of our speakers if they do have social media so that you can reach out to them or hear more from them. So Jiffy Jiffwald says Cavendish and Schauhelian experiments, as well as a bowling ball and feather in a vacuum chamber, are excellent demonstrations of gravity at work.
Yeah, Cavendish hasn't been recreated. He looked at holes in the shed, down the street, and around the corner with a telescope. He had an oscillating torsion bar that swung for 15 minutes. Then he switched the line, which had more tension, and it oscillated for 7.5 minutes. The total deflection measured down the street, around the corner, which didn't account for air resistance, didn't account for electrostatics, was less than an inch. It was like 1/10 of an inch, or 9/10 of an inch. It was less than an inch. And their whole gravity religion is based on something that isn't recreated. If that was the experiment that proved it, you'd see one in Paris, you'd see one in New York, it'd be at the Louvre. They don't have it anywhere. What you'll see is people standing in a room with air conditioning, walking around and claiming to have a torsion bar measure gravity. It's freaking... Thanks for playing.
That was just false. That was just false from beginning to end.
And it doesn't prove the bending warping of space-time anyway.
All right.
That too.
Gravitational time dilation does, though, sir.
Yeah, but the Cavendish doesn't, right?
Angel, we got to
the Cavendish only proves that mass attracts mass.
All right, we've had plenty of back and forth here, I think, so thank you there, guys. Chase Hatchett, your biggest fan there, Nathan, says, need some cheese for that wine. Chase, you need to get your own sayings. That's my saying. You're not allowed to use my sayings. Techie Bus says, Old Lion says, look up Shape Commander on Tita.
Shout out Shape Commander.
Or don't, because he's a flurf, and you could look me up instead. I debunk flat earthers.
You can look up Peter Markley and have look at his sunset, how it changed 40%.
All right, the Wickerman says, why should we take Mr. Rubber Ducky seriously? I don't know who that is on our panel. Am I Mr. Rubber Ducky? I'm kind of in bright colors. I don't know.
It's a Reckless Ben series that Nathan was on. They trolled him really hard, and
I'm not. I don't know the underground stories of everybody.
You don't know the lore.
I don't know the lore, guys. You gotta you got to tell me yourself what's going on here. You hurry up. All right, Jonathan Gendler says, why are all other planets round if Earth is flat?
Non sequitur. We're talking about the shape of the Earth. I mean, the planets could be round, but they're not even terra firma, in my opinion. They're lights in the sky that move. They're not analogous to the floor because the floor is not a light. The floor is not in the sky, and the floor doesn't move. You can't zoom in on Jupiter and see dolphins jumping out of the ocean or coconut trees or strawberries. Nobody's on Venus arguing about the shape of Venus on TikTok right now. Earth is special. Earth is unique. Comparing it to lights in the sky just is like waving a white flag in the air and being like, I surrender. I can't prove curvature. Tell me what the sky's all about. Next.
I did mention that in my opening statement.
All right. Well,
rewind and look.
Well, let's carry on. We'll have a moment for closing statements in just a moment here, everybody. So Bob Hope says, all I've seen is Nathan cry and present narcissism and willful ignorance. Did you want to say anything to Bob Hope? Do you know who this is? All right. Not sure.
I actually have a book called Thanks for the Memories. It talks about a girl who was Bob Hope and Henry Kissinger's mind-controlled sex slave. They programmed her like a robot. Check out Thanks for the Memories by Bryce Taylor. Next question.
Well, okay, that took a turn. Patrick Bowser says, is it ironic that two Globers use magnifying glasses to perceive their reality?
Are they talking about our glasses?
Yeah, they're talking about our glasses. Yes, it's amazing. Humans know that refraction exists, and they know how to use it very precisely in order to clarify what we're seeing.
This is just so I can read signs so I can drive.
Great point.
Light passes through two different mediums, so you don't have vertical.
Why are you speaking? This question was for us.
That's
The
actually
question
for
was
us.
to
Make
ask
it
why
funny,
you're
guys.
speaking.
That is
Why
It's
you
actually
talking?
for us.
Okay,
It's
let's
actually for us.
No, he said it's ironic that the two Globers use magnifying glasses to perceive their reality. So, yeah, I
So
think.
it wasn't for you, so why are you speaking?
Oh, I missed the Glober part. We had
Okay.
magnifying glasses.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Okay,
when you were being
shut
triggered.
up. You're not supposed to be speaking.
All right.
Oh,
let's
sorry about that, triggered.
let's keep it down. All right. So Ryan Hesterman says for FE there's a no way on F. No, so for flat Earth there's no way on a flat Earth daylight would exist longer in Melbourne versus Brisbane, the day after September equinox until it's March equinox. Can flat Earth explain?
Yes, it's called the caustic cup effect.
Coffee cup
light-
caustic.
Coffee cup caustic. Yeah, the light bends around the perimeter. Also, light will travel further in the south because the four main things that attenuate light are carbon dioxide, oxygen, ozone, and water vapor. And you're going to have more of that around the equator, but also where the massive populations of people are. There's stories of people being in Antarctica and they see a mountain and they think it's 100 miles away. They think they're going to be there in a few days. And then a few days later, the mountain still looks 100 miles away because their perception of depth was all skewed in the south because you can see much further and the earth is flat.
All rescuing devices.
All right. Just give me 1 second there, fellas. I was trying to make a new poll since we had a super chat come in asking for a new poll, and I somehow clicked something and I closed everything. So just bear with me. I do see your super chat. I'm going to get a new poll up there. Let me just read the stats here. So the Earth is a globe. 63% voted for that. The Earth is flat. 23% of the audience voted for that. And then the Earth is a bag of bread. So those are the disinterested or non-committed people. So hopefully you'll learn something while you're here today on Modern Day Debate. I'm going to start a new poll in just 1 second, but I'm going to pop back into those super chats and get our panel moving along again. So sorry for the delay there. Oh, it's just Chase Hatchett saying, paying Ryan for using his saying. Well, thank you. Shouldn't be using my sayings. That's right. And what's going on?
It's not
Nathan?
for sale.
What's going on, Nathan? You're showing the...
I just want to shout out Buy the Dip on TikTok. Dip's live 24/7. If Globers want to come in and show evidence on TikTok, they're always welcome to come on to Dip's live.
Except when he bans them.
Yeah, well, you guys are out of control. Sometimes we have to do what we have to do. But come on up, guys.
Is this you speeding up the question time, or is this you actually just slowing things down?
All right. We're going to move into those closings. So yeah, let's do that. Let me think here. Tony, you started us out. Nathan and Angel kind of crossed over. So I'm going to give you the floor first, Nathan, to do your closing. So you got a 1 minute on the floor to give your thoughts on the discussion tonight and where everybody can find you. I think you kind of already got a shout out there. So yeah, you'll get a whole minute here on top of what you already just shouted out. So go ahead there.
Thanks, Ryan, for moderating. Thanks, chat, for being here. Everyone who shares this show, I really appreciate people putting the information out there. When you have a lamp, you don't hide it under the bed. You put it out on the porch for everyone to see. Be the change you want to see on flat Earth. The truth of flat Earth is incontrovertible. Malice will attack it. Ignorance will try and deride it. But in the end, there it is. You can lead Globers to flat water, but you cannot make them think critically about the shape of the Earth. So I think we all need to say less to more people immediately. It's an extremely important topic because the people who are lying to us about the shape of the Earth, they might only take $20 million a year to do it, but they're also stealing $1 trillion a year for weapons and technology. And if the people hate your guts enough to lie to you about the shape of the Earth, and they're spending $1 trillion just in our country alone that they steal on weapons and technology, well, we got a problem, guys. We need to wake up, be the change. Okay, that's all.
All right. Well, thank you, Nathan. We'll hand it over to you, Angel, for your closing statement.
Yeah, I mean, I showed direct evidence that we see too far. The answer was just like atmospheric conditions. So in other words, the horizon is not the geometric curvature of the Earth. We see past it. Therefore, the radius value has been debunked, just like I said in my opener. We don't have Coriolis. So when I hover a helicopter, the Earth doesn't rotate underneath it. If you're going to claim the atmosphere moves with the Earth, that's the same as me saying the Earth is stationary. So also, I asked for examples of contained systems, pressure systems without a container. Tony gave me a contained example of a vacuum and pressure. So it's just crazy. Space can't exist. if we have air pressure, even if it's a gradient, it cannot exist next to a 10 to the minus 17 tall vacuum. It would equalize. Everything in nature equalizes,
10 seconds.
seeks equilibrium. So no, space cannot exist. And yeah, but I just want to like write this down because all these guys want evidence. They say they want evidence. I show the evidence, and then they say, no, that's not evidence. That's evidence of atmospheric conditions.
We are at time, but thank you, Angel, for coming out to Modern Day Debate. We appreciate you being here. Hopefully we'll see you again. And Jonathan Gendler actually has one last question here. It is for Tony and Peter, so I'll just ask this right quick if we can, and then I'll give you guys closings. Tony and Peter, will future commercial space travel destroy flat Earth movement since everyone will see it's round? So do you have any quick comments there, PhD and Peter?
One would hope so, but they do show a rather impressive cognitive bias and ability to rationalize whatever they see. So who knows?
Yeah, the assumption that flat earthers are capable of rationally or objectively assessing evidence has been disproven in this very debate. So I'm not confident that space travel is going to be as productive. I think that a lot of people are going to die flat earthers.
All right, this is the last one.
It will convince some people though, which is good.
Will convince some people, but yeah, I think that a lot of flat earthers are going to die flat earthers simply because they believe that everything is a conspiracy, like Nathan believed, like Nathan explained.
You're getting all morbid on us, all right? Let's get into. We've got one last comment, which was from Geocentric and Capital Ladder. Says more lands beyond the 80th latitude. It's all in caps, so I imagine that's how you wanted me to do it. All right, so Peter. Yeah, actually, who had gone first on your side? Was that you, Tony?
I went first.
Yeah, you did. So, Peter, you got the first minute on the floor for your closing. 60 seconds.
Okay, well, thank you for having me, and this was fun for me. I think it's obvious that Nathan and Angel really want to control the conversation. They think their time here is only worthwhile if they can turn it into a recruitment stage for their flat Earth beliefs. And of course, when it comes to the actual science, they insist on looking through the dirty window instead of the clear window, because that's the only way they can squint through and see what seems to be Bigfoot or whatever it is they want to see. So that's what the evidence was they presented. It was only through the dirty window. They wouldn't look anywhere else. They wouldn't touch any other arguments except to nitpick. It was pretty disappointing, but not surprising. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming back there, Peter. We hope to see you back again. And PhD Tony, the last word is for you. 60 seconds on the floor. You opened it, you closed it. So thank you for being here.
The oceans demonstrably do curve. This has been measured and observed many times, and there's extensive scientific literature. In fact, the surface of the Earth is deformed by the gravitational effects of underwater mountains, and we use this to map the ocean floor. That entire claim of Nathan's is nonsense. The argument about containers, if we accept that the Earth is in a container, then Angel can't show me a container that isn't in a container. Therefore, the container that contains the Earth must be in a container, and that container, it's a nonsense. It's illogical. That doesn't demonstrate anything. All you need is for the atmosphere to be affected by gravity, which we can scientifically demonstrate that it is, and that gravity works in precisely the way that it is described.
All right. Well, thank you to all of our speakers for their closing statements and coming out to Modern Day Debate and having the discussion. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the Modern Day Debate YouTube channel. We appreciate you there. It looks like Nathan's doing a happy dance, and Angel's referencing you to see something. They don't think they can see that, but
Nathan, this kind of gives main character syndrome vibes.
No worries.
The Earth is too big to see the curve. The horizon is Earth's curve.
No worries at all. We're just going to close on out. So thank you guys for coming out here and having the discussion on the panel once again. And thank you to our live audience for being so engaged. And yeah, hit that like button, guys, while we're still live. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Cheers. wasting time. All of my life living in a world of aggression, tyranny's mixed with self-oppression. What am I to do but tear away when I'm boiling at the top? Try to find a way to fight the fire, smoke derived from the minds of liars. Call the shots as you bow your heads, and the march never stops. The stars could be free, but this insanity bends you right by the knee. Running in circles now for something that can't be found. And I bet as you hit the wall, the rain starts to fall. You can run away, sing a tune that's true. I'll be beside you. Who's the one that holds you down? Push through there in your way, anything to make you stay. Cut the strings before your life starts to decay. From tears of blood, regrets of laughter, turn around as your heart beat faster. Your hollow shape as the faith begins to drop. Shelter can find your thoughts of suicide. It's hanging down by the fray. Running in circles now for something that can't be found. And there's no time for today. You prayed away that the world would be untrue. I will rise against you. Until they're gone, nothing can matter at all. Insanity bends you right by the nail. Running in circles now for something that can't be found. Out of breath, smash the wall, the water consumed all. You prayed away that the world would be untrue as it rose against you. Unfair
Did you think it would always be for free? Now sit back, watch it burn.